Hello, Knockouts. Tanya TKO here, and I am a self-love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I hope you learn how to love yourselves and one another. Today, listen, so we use viral topics as teachable moments for what self-love or self-abuse looks like in your own life. And many of us enter into these relationships and interactions that are self-abusive. Here, let me show you this. All right, this guy right here. Oh my goodness. Today's topic, I am triggered by DV, which stands for domestic violence, some words you cannot say on YouTube and these other websites, right? He made an egregious statement that I find to be very dangerous. And so today we are going to talk about that statement. And to help out with the discussion, guess who I have in the building? We have the studio audience back. So we're going to cut to the studio audience real quick. Hold on, let me make sure that we have the sounds in the places that the sounds need to be. So we're going to cut to the studio audience and let's see if we can get them up on the screen. All right, here we go. Hello, studio. Oh my gracious, I know I fixed that. Oh my gracious, Lord of mercy. I fixed this up before I came through. Hold on. See, we always have, listen, we're not having issues. Studio audience in the building. Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right. So we're going to be hearing from the studio audience and we're going to get some comments in from people who have actually experienced DV and who have lived to talk about it. Because when you hear his statements, I think that you're going to be very surprised by what it is that you hear from him. So if you all are ready to get this party started, I am ready to get this party started as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. I am your host, Tanya TKO. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. It is my goal that people understand that relationships are made up of people. And that self-love is the basis for every relationship. There are plenty of people out there who are relationship coaches, right? And they put relationship before all else. Like we just got into a big brouhaha the other day when we were discussing the situation that existed between Tabitha and her husband. And okay, if relationship is what you want to put first, then fine, put relationship first. However, if you want to focus on having a loving relationship that starts with self-love, you'll do things a little bit differently. But nonetheless, I digress. Today we're talking about something completely different, something that has no nuance. It cannot be mistaken. And the only people that benefit from the messaging that we're about to hear right now are those who have a vested interest in perpetuating assault. And then we're going to hear a statement that actually confirms. We're going to hear a statement that confirms from the Kitten in Heels himself. So without further ado, let's get this video up here so that you all can hear exactly what it is that was said. Oh, we didn't give our shout out to the text notification squad. Hold on. Because the text notification squad are those who help sponsor the show. So if you are part of the text notification squad, go ahead and throw up your number 10 And let's give you your propers. Let's give a shout out to the people who are on the text notification squad. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely. You who support with the text notification squad, and those of you who support with the Cash App and the apples that come in during the broadcast, you make all of this possible. You make the upgrades possible. You make it possible for me to be able to research and bring the content and come out and do the videos that you love. So support content creators who create the content that you love. So thank you all so much. If you don't know about the text notification squad, there is a select group of people who get a text notification from me 15 minutes before I go live in each broadcast. So you get the link directly to your phone. If anything happens on any of these fickle platforms, we know how to get in touch with one another. We do broadcasts off air. We assigned accountability partners, I'd say about 2 weeks ago. And it's a nice little community. I recognize some of your names in the comments, and we go from there. So we're going to read the rules after we play the video, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time just setting the video up, because we've already been on here for 6 minutes. We haven't played the video yet. So I'll read the rules of the broadcast after we get to the video. So here, let's take a look at this right here. All right.
How many times do we hear?
Okay, hold on. We got to refresh this so that we can get here.
The color purpling of the black community. How many times do we hear that women out here dealing with all this abuse? I'm gonna do the show on abuse next week because I'm tired of hearing this bullcrap. I do not see women being abused. I don't see women. I don't see black women being physically abused. Never really have. I'm gonna just say it. I never really have seen black women being abused. In my entire life, I have known of one woman, and that was one of my mother's friends back in the 70s. One. And she and her husband, or she and her man, they would fight each other. One. Emotional abuse. I will tell you, the emotional abuse comes from women to men, not men to women. And it's, I call it the color purpling of.
Okay. This messaging is so dangerous. This messaging is so dangerous that it took me a whole day and a half to be able to do this video. Because when I first heard this, I was like, you know what? Like, I want to ask you all, what do you think is the purpose of this video? Like, what do you think the intention is behind it to say something like that? Let's read the rules of the broadcast. Rule number 1. The topics that we discuss are for self-reflection. They're never personal about the people in the videos, but anytime you see an example here on this show, use it for internal reflection about what you want or don't want in your own life and ways that you can cultivate yourself. That's 1. Number 2, we combat the argument, not the people. So in the comments, if somebody says something that you don't like, get on what it is that they said that you disagree with and expound on that. Don't just start calling people names. Up here, I'm up here for entertainment value. There may be some times that I draw attention to hypocrisies in a person's appearance, etc., in order to drive home a point about what it is that they're saying, but entertainment value. 3, if you enjoy the broadcast, subscribe. If you don't resonate, then please find other content that you resonate with for Text Notification Squad. Link is below. So join the Text Notification Squad. You can join while you're on air. It's $1.99 a month or $22 for the year. Or if you're international, it's $4.99 a month and $50 for the year. Cash apps will be read live on screen unless of course you want to support the show, but you don't want your Cash app read on screen. Also, I've been getting messages from people to not read Cash apps below $5. They were saying that the $1 Cash apps take a lot of time. So I'm going to play that by ear and kind of get a feel for it. You know, we'll see. 6, if you want to submit topic, go to my website. The link is below. Don't post links on my website. Don't advertise on my website. If you want to advertise, contact me privately about sponsorship. Rule number 8, I am a life coach I have a life coach, and I get mentally evaluated once a year. Let's not try to weaponize mental health. Mental health is important. And let's not try to diagnose people from the comments, especially don't try to diagnose me. There's 3 ways you can get blocked on my channel: misogynistic slurs against women, constantly expressing that you don't want to be here and you can't find your way out. And what is the 3rd way to get blocked on my channel? Continuing to be a disruption in the comments is the 3rd way. Let's talk about this video piece by piece. Oh my God. You know what? As a matter of fact, before I jump into it piece by piece, I'm going to jump over to the studio audience. I want to hear what they have to say about this particular video. So if you want, go ahead and throw your hands up to come over and speak. I want to hear what you have to say about the video in and of itself. So, hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. You all welcome, welcome. Allison, which way do we need our cameras? Which way do we need the cameras? So first one up is Olga. So Olga, come forward. And hey, the first apple came in. Olga, what is your comment today?
So
You have to take
I'm
yourself off
bringing
mute. I can't.
greetings.
You know
Hi,
what?
love.
Oh,
I'm
maybe
bringing
it's me.
greetings from
Hold on.
Yes, love.
I need to get my audio. I need to make sure that my audio is together. Give me 1 second. Cause I need to cause I have the ability to take you all out of my ear. So I need to put you back in my ear. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let's get this. Where is my I don't have my. All right. Hey Olga, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, love. Greetings from Toronto, Canada. Just want to jump right into this. This topic is something near and dear to my heart. I do assist women from domestic abuse and violence as a result of my own personal journey. So to get your notification today, not knowing the topic, and then I'm hearing the topic, I was like, yeah, this is definitely alignment. Just from the short clip that I heard you play, Kevin Samuels, I just came across him myself recently, and not my cup of tea. However, now that I'm hearing this, he definitely is not my cup of tea because that is very damaging. What he has been exposed to, that's his walk. That's what, if he wants to say that's all he has been exposed to, that's great. However, especially in post-COVID, where domestic violence, as a result of the shutdown and the lockdown, I don't know where he is not looking, but even if he hasn't seen it, there is enough information of factual data that verifies that domestic violence is a real thing.
Yes.
And domestic violence is not only the physical. My domestic violence journey was not physical, but it was using of finances. It was the narcissistic way. So those ones are the ones that individuals don't see, and it leads you to mental health issues.
Okay, well, you know what? Listen, we're going to come back. I just wanted to get a brief synopsis. So we're gonna speak with Maurice real quick because I just wanted to just jump over and kind of get a temperature gauge for how people felt about the clip that we saw. And then once we get deeper into the show, I'm going to talk with you all about your personal experiences. So Maurice, come forward. So thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome, love.
Thank you. All right, Maurice, come up, please.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, you're behind me. You got to move over. You're right behind me.
How do I move over?
Move your body. Move your, but exactly. Yes. Move your, but yeah, you don't know how. Oh, we got the bosoms out. You're still behind me. Move the other way. All right.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to move because my phone is being charged at the same time. So I'm trying to move myself.
Okay, now.
There we go.
Okay. All right. And now you slid behind me again. Let me move myself then. Let me move me. Don't worry, I got it.
Okay. My thing with domestic violence is well, sorry, I'm not supposed to say it. I've experienced a variety of it personally, but also too as a police officer, I've experienced it firsthand when the calls come
Oh,
in.
okay.
And for him to come out on public to
Yeah.
say that it doesn't exist is a very, very big disservice to not just African American women,
Yeah.
but to women in general.
Yeah.
Because as a police officer, we treat DV very, very seriously,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a specific protocol for DV because we're never gonna know or predict what DV is gonna turn out to be. You can get a call for just the woman is quiet, she can't say nothing, and you just asking questions. And when we get there, we have to go there. We can't park in front of the house. We have to park at least a block down, then walk up to the house because if the husband sees us coming, it gets worse, or vice versa. And then when we do get there, we make contact with the person. A second patrol car has to come and check up on the first car that went there.
Why?
That's how serious, because DV, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Wow.
Okay, for example, not to name any names, I got a call one time where um, the call came in, he said, my wife has lost it, and hung up. That was it. That's all we got. And when we got there, we followed protocol. We parked, four houses down, and we got there. And sure enough, she lost it. It ended up turning into a police, what do you call it?
Chase?
A police chase with her son in the back seat. Three
Who was
cars had to.
driving?
She almost, the wife,
Oh.
and
She
she
was
got
fed
enough.
up?
Exactly. And it's like, and it turned so bad, where to the point where I was police officer on a military base, that NCIS had to take the case. That's how bad it got. And there's been other calls where we've gotten there, it was a misunderstanding. The phone got dialed 911 by accident, but we still have to treat it like a DV. You see what
Oh,
I'm saying?
wow. Well, you
So
know what? Listen, we're going to come back to get some more details in from you and other audience members. Thank you so much. Give a round of applause for the ladies who have shared their story. So we're going to so what we want to do is I want to go back through, and I also want to show some statistics, because there are some statistics that we need to see, right? So welcome in, everyone. Welcome. There are 800 people on YouTube, 200 people on Facebook. No one on Twitter, Periscope, and LinkedIn doesn't send their data over. So DV, there's some words that we can't say inside of YouTube videos, but it stands for, I don't even know how to say it without saying any word that's going to get tagged on YouTube. It stands for domestic violence. That's what it stands for. It stands for domestic violence. So, should we hear the video again and break it down piece by piece? You know what? Let's do that. Let's listen to the video again and break it down piece by piece, right? Let's break it down piece by piece.
I call it the color purpling of the black community.
All right, let's stop it right there. The color purpling of the Black community. What do you think he means by that? There were many Black men that were upset with the color purple back in the days, but upset why? They were upset because they felt it exposed a narrative that they really didn't want out there. They felt that it exposed and made Black men look bad. However, how real was the color purple? How real was it? I mean, as a matter of fact, if you are Black in these comments, I want you to tell us the age. I want you to put up two numbers. The age that your grandmother became pregnant and the age of the person who impregnated her. Your grandmother, right? We're talking about your mother's mother. If you don't know his age, or he wasn't, or he didn't stick around, put 2 question marks. So the age of your grandmother, comma, or slash the age of the person who impregnated her. If you don't know him, or she didn't know him, or you don't know his age, 2 question marks. Okay? All right. So let's get these comments up here. I'm ready to see these comments. All right, so Lumiere's grandmother was 25, so we have 21, 23. Okay. Let's see what other else we have. We have, that doesn't, 25, 41, 16, 24, 16, 30, 15, 19, grandmother 13, 13, 20, 15 question, 15 question, 13, 20, 14, 20. You know what? I'm sorry. This is so triggering because 1330, because you know what? I'm sorry. It's like, it's like so many people didn't even get a chance at life. I'm sorry. I'm not going to weep. I got to get my tissue and catch a tear before it forms. You know what? This is just, it's very telling. Okay. It's just that so many of our grandmothers just didn't even really have a chance at life. And then they gave birth to our parents. And we're not talking about many generations removed. We're talking about our mother's mother, right? And you see the numbers continuing to come in, right? And there's so many, when we talk about domestic violence and the age at which it's most prevalent, it's actually most prevalent with young women. As a matter of fact, let me read this. Let me read the caption that this woman placed here for us, right? So I'm going to read the caption that she put on the video. She says, and this is on the Black Femicide channel. She says, the CDC and National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence states Black women are more likely to die at the hands of an abuser. Black women, I'm trying to move my thing with a mouse. Black women are more likely to die at the hands of an abuser. Black women experience domestic violence at exceedingly higher rates than other groups of women. Black women experience more severe forms of domestic violence once they were separated or divorced. Women between the ages of 18 and 24 were most likely to experience domestic violence, followed by teens between the ages of 11 and 17. I don't know if it's a little small for you all to be able to read, but I'm reading it out loud for you all. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. It's just that when I start moving these screens around, then I try to come back to them. Okay. So this age pattern was observed among Black women. In fact, they were more than 3 times likely to experience domestic violence under the age of 30 than Black women under the age of 40. Yes, their first response is often not to report it. Yet their first response is often not to report what they are experiencing, or if they do report, they later recant their stories. They also are less likely to visit shelters or receive services. Instead, many Black women suffer in silence. Black women experience domestic violence at significantly higher rates than white women, but they tend to remain silent out of fear of the police force and a sense of duty to their race and culture. It says, if you are in immediate danger, call 911. For anonymous confidential help 24/7, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800, I'll highlight this for you, 1-800-799-7233-SAFE, or that's 1-800-787 3224. And so one of the things that you can do is when you go to some of these websites, you can actually text them and let them know to be able to send somebody. Like if you can't talk on the phone, you can text them and let them know that they can send somebody over, right? You know what? Give me a round of applause because this is a very difficult topic for me. This is a very difficult topic for me. So I'm really trying to work my way through this. And so it's triggering because I am an advocate for women. I'm an advocate for children, and it troubles me when people harm women or children. It really troubles me. I was reading this study that talked about the hundreds of pounds per square inch that a man's punch has and how it is exponentially more forceful than a woman's hit, right? And so thank you all so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. As a matter of fact, we did hear an apple come in, right? So we can actually, wait, what is that? All right. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. So the first person up is Stefan, who sends $30. Thank you, Stefan. And he says, for the one that called and my kitten hollered in the background. Wait, I'm the one that called and my kitten hollered in the background. Oh, yes, we remember you from one of the other broadcasts. Thank you so much for the love and support on the channel. Thank you. And then we have Janelle that sends $5 and says, thank you for talking about this. Well, thank you for being here and thank you for participating in the conversation. Let me just make sure I refresh before we jump out of this screen. Okay, wonderful. All right. Let's head back to the Kitten in Heels and what it is that he was saying. So, do we need to restart this again? Okay, let's see. Let's get the volume up.
I call it the color purpling of the black community. How many times do we hear that women out here dealing with all this abuse? I'm gonna do the show on abuse next.
Okay. So let's talk about this first and foremost. So he starts off saying, how many times do we hear that women are dealing with abuse? And in his tone, you can tell from his tone that he seems like he doesn't really believe it. How many times are you hearing that? Right? This is a logical fallacy. Just because you never heard something doesn't mean that it does not exist. Who knows what your exposure is? Who knows what you consider abuse? Because the way that he behaves on his platform is abusive. One can only imagine what it is that he saw that made him feel that it was okay to speak to women in the condescending manner that he speaks to them. The way that he attempts to humiliate women. We're actually going to look at the body language guy's video, and we're going to we're going to see what the body language guy had to say about Kitten, right? Let's continue forward.
Next week, because I'm tired of hearing this bullcrap.
He said he's tired of hearing this bullcrap. So, which is it? Have you never heard of it? Or have you heard of it? I mean, because this is a contradiction. He said, how many times have you heard of domestic violence? But then he said he's tired of hearing about it, which means that it sounds like he's hearing about it so much that he doesn't want to hear about it anymore because it's quote unquote bullcrap. People telling their testimony that you are claiming that you don't hear. Remember when Very Smart Brother said that black men are like the white people of black people? Is it that you don't hear? Answer that question. You don't hear about it or you're tired of hearing about it? Because it can't be both. Because if you were really intellectually curious, you would be like, I hear about this all the time. Let me look into this. You know what? This is part of the issue. I'm going to tell you. Listen. Black women, black men, it is high time that we had standards that we set for the people whom we are following. the people whose word we're taking. This is why I tell you I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am a certified life coach with a specialty in relationship coaching. If you'd like to see my credentials, you can go to LinkedIn. My page is right there, right? If you'd like to see the schools that I've gone to and the length and depth of the programs that I've attended. What is this man's criteria? What is his what are his qualifications for giving his opinion on this? This is so dangerous because he has so many people following him and who have gone on to follow him, who are now hearing these messages. He became famous for verbally abusing a woman. Remember before, he was over there spraying perfumes on people, standing outside the malls trying to spray them and try to hand out his Kinko printed card, trying to get them to think of him as an image consultant. Where did he go even for his image consultancy qualifications? This is what I'm saying. It's like we have, this is why I tell you all, I get psychologically evaluated each and every year. I have a life coach currently. I am a life coach. I remember I was on the panel, I did a video with a man whom I still to this day feel emotionally traumatized by this video. For those of you, I don't want to say this person's name in my video, but for those of you who remember the video, I put on a black wig and I was so just distressed during this. I put on a black wig, started singing and dancing to Tina Turner, and he still tried to tear me down, even as I was trying to raise back up my energy during this conversation. When I asked this man what were his qualifications, whether or not he had ever gone through any type of psychological training, any life coaching program, what edified him to be, or codified him to be in front of the public giving his opinion about anything? Nothing. He didn't even go to one of those weekend courses he did nothing. The only thing that he did was swing his body around in a circle, let his nuts slap on either side of his leg, and then say, "Oh, I got the power. I got the power." And then came out and decided to start giving women advice. And I don't know how many women have ever asked of him, what are your qualifications to be able to sit here and give us advice? This is part of the reason that I left Clubhouse, because there were so many people up on stage being edified by the fact that they were on stage and had an audience, that they were just talking tripe. They were talking nonsense. Nonsense. And it's like, how often, it's like you all had Derek Jackson, some 21-year-old man who had his wife hidden in the background, maybe because she's over there sword fighting with a plunger and a battle bonnet, thinking about slaying his oral sex demons, that they're going to some church. Prophesy, Papa! To have sprayed out of people's punani. So he was out here 21 years old giving people everlasting life advice to women twice his age who had been married before he was born. And we over here, oh, he a big fine hunk. He's a big fine hunk. When all he did himself was twirl his sack around in a circle, hitting left and right. Oh, my nuts gave me the energy. They gave me the knowledge. Now that's all it takes. Go to the gym, pump some iron, put some Noxzema on your doggone face to smooth it out a little bit. Sit up in a car, rolling around. No verification of nothing that exists in your life, and come out and start giving people advice. So now we have this man here who has made enough money from effery YouTube videos to be able to order some suits that look cute on him, of course, because remember, this is cheerleader Fred, who was into fashion from his younger days, from when he had the little flat top and the high waist dad jeans, talking about give you G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi. So now he got his little suits up here. That was so New York. Suits up here. So now he has his suits up here sitting on the internet. And because we associate suits with business, we associate this person with being a businessman. And I'm going to tell you, the life that he is claiming to live is not the truth of what exists behind the scenes. But you all are listening to advice from a person who couldn't and wouldn't take his own advice, who is living a life where he is not handling his own responsibilities, whose daughter is so daddy deprived that she would be akin to those daddy deprived daughters that call into the show hoping to be rated. Oh, look at that. What is the what when a pun? Berated and be rated, to be berated by him. All right. So let's continue to go on. Listen, is there somebody in here that needs to be invited to the block party? Let me know. Because I see some people writing some stuff. Let me know, because this ain't the broadcast for it, baby. This ain't the broadcast for it. Let's continue. All right. Let's finish. Let's go forward.
Sorry, I do not see women being abused.
When are you supposed to see it? Let me ask you all a question. Let me bring the chat back up. I do not see women. And you heard him stutter when he said it. I'm sorry. I don't see women being abused. For all of you in the comments area who you outside has seen a woman being assaulted outside by her domestic partner, husband, boyfriend, or some sort of man, if you have seen it, I want you to put up the number 3. If you have seen it yourself, just you, a random person on the internet, if you have seen it, go ahead and put up the number 3, right? Okay. Let's continue. There's a 20-second delay, so I'm going to wait for it to come through, right? I'm looking for, I don't always see it, but see the after effects. Okay. Cheryl is saying, when I got my behind beat, no one was there. Damascus puts up a 3. Okay, so now the delay has come through. All of these 3s. Hundreds of people. There's 1,000 people on YouTube, 270 on Facebook. Go ahead and thumbs up this video. Share it. Tag a person who needs to hear this, because I want us all to be a part of the conversation. We are live right now, and the benefit of being live is you get to be a part of the show. Look, the numbers are still coming through. All of these people, all of you, what's side of my point, all of you have seen it outside. All of you that are putting up the 3s, you've seen it outside. But Kitten hasn't. Kitten hasn't seen it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I personally have never seen it either. I haven't seen it myself, not outside. I know my brother has seen it, and my brother has even, I've heard stories from men who have attempted to jump in, and then the women start fighting him for fighting the man. I've heard that story about 3 times. I personally have never seen it, and I'm glad. You know what? As a matter of fact, I saw a man verbally assaulting a woman on the bus. I've never seen physical assault. But because I've never seen it means that it doesn't exist. Let's read the statistics. Let's read the statistics for you all. Let's get into the stats. All right? Let's do that, so that we can at least start to get on the same page. And the 3s are still coming in. All right, so here are the stats. You can search Black women and domestic violence to be able to see some of, remember when I said I didn't want to mess with my size? So here, we mess with it, but it's fine. We're going to fix it up just a little. All right. Okay. So there we go. Black women and domestic violence here. All right. The statistics on domestic violence in the United States are disturbing. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 10 men will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Each year, domestic violence estimated to affect 10 million people in the United States. Yet for Black women, the numbers are even more stark. More than 40% of Black women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime, according to the Institute of Women's Policy Research. researches status of Black women in the United States. In comparison, 31% of all women will experience domestic violence. A report from the National Center for Victims of Crimes found that 53.8% of Black women had experienced psychological abuse, while 41% of Black women had experienced physical abuse. More disturbingly, Black women are 2.5 times more likely to be murdered by men than white women. 2.5 times more likely to be murdered. Listen to what it is that we're saying. 2.5 times more likely to be murdered. In the overwhelming majority of these cases, 92%, the person, and you know what, this has come from the blackburncenter.org. This is where this information has come from, blackburncenter.org. I actually called them and spoke with some people on the hotline, and I spoke with a very nice supervisor today who directed me on where I can get the most up-to-date information, and this right here is up-to-date. They are advocates for women. They're located in Philadelphia. If you need assistance in Philadelphia, contact the blackburncenter.org. They have a 24-hour hotline, and all you have to do is Google them, all right? So here we go. The person, okay, in the overwhelming majority of cases, 92%, the person who killed them knew their victim. 56% of these homicides were committed by a current or former intimate partner. Nearly all, 92% of these killings were intraracial, which means that they were committed by a Black man against a Black woman. With statistics like these, the Black Women's Health Project determined that domestic violence is the #1 health issue facing Black women. The violence against women, Black women by Black men, is the #1 health issue facing Black women. I want you to just think about that. When we start thinking about us being terrorized, what then can be done about the epidemic of violence facing Black women? All right, so they're talking about the root cause, culture, harmful gender norms, pay gap, other forms of inequality. Underlying causes are often more pronounced for Black women by taking on these issues directly. So this is deep. I also saw something else that I wanted you all to see, this right here. Now, according to Nyla says that every 6 hours a Black woman is murdered. I couldn't find those stats. So Nyla, I need you to send me those statistics, please, because these stats are outdated. This is 2015, right? As of 2015, let me make this a little bit larger for you all. Let me make this a little larger. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I think I'm in the wrong page. Let's see. I need to, I have several monitors set up, and for some reason, only the first monitor receives the input from touchscreen. So I have to move it to one other monitor in order to be able to, so like if I try to touch it over here, it like move this down here. It wasn't supposed to do that. So I'm trying to, let me just make it smaller, because I'm trying to, what am I doing? I need to do it on this thing. Okay, here we go. All right, I think I got it now. All right, it's not on the right, come on. All right, perfect, now we got it. Okay. So I want you all to take a look at this, right? We're gonna read this article because I think that this is so important, right? Salon did an article, I want you all to see the date, 2015. As of 2015, right? Listen. And it's crazy that they did these stats because I found it so hard to find the actual data, and then I found the data. So it says here that, all right. It says here, so the stats are every 19 hours, a Black woman is killed by a man. Every 21 hours, the Black woman is killed by a Black man. So I'm sorry, you can't see that. Let me move this over. In this country, every 21 hours, a Black woman is killed by a Black man. 92% of the time she knows her murderer. 56% of the time she is wife ex-girlfriend or girlfriend of her killer. The study does not account for ex-partners or ex-girlfriends, a fact which would surely make that percentage skew higher. In these incidents, the most common weapon used was a gun. At the top of the article, they open up the article talking about how once every 21 hours a Black woman is a victim of fatal intraracial violence by a male perpetrator. When I was on this broadcast with this man that I cussed down to the ground the other day, you all were telling me some women had the nerve to come out and talk about how much they like that man, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't play abuse over here. When I start hearing stuff because this guy was trying to make light of the assault that Black women face. Every 19 hours, a Black woman is killed by a person who is most likely an intimate partner or an ex-husband. Every 21 of those hours, so between 19 and 21. So very few men of other races kill Black women. The majority of murders, the number one issue, as we saw, the number one threat for Black women, health crisis, right? Black Americans make up 14% of the population, and yet of those 1,600 murders, 453 or 28% were Black women. We've got to do better than this. We've got to do better. And then we have this man sitting up here, chatting his mess. Let's go forward in what it is that he was saying. Are you all here with me? Do you hear what I'm saying? If you hear what I'm saying, go ahead and throw up your number ones. If you hear and you hear and feel what it is that I'm saying, go ahead and put up your number ones. Let's listen a little bit more to what it is that he has to say.
I call it the color purpling of the Black community. How many times do we hear that women out here dealing with all this abuse? I'm gonna do the show on abuse next week.
Do it.
I'm tired of hearing this bullcrap. I do not see women being abused. I don't see women. I don't see Black women being physically abused. Never really have. I'm gonna just say it. I never really have seen Black women being abused. In my entire life, I have known of one woman, and that was one of my mother's friends back in the 70s. One. And she and her husband, or she and her man, they would fight each other.
Okay. They would fight each other. He's minimizing it and attempting to pretend as if a person whose punch is hundreds of times per square inch more forceful than her punch is some sort of fight between them. So if she defends herself against her attacker, her number one threat, right, to her life, her health, and her safety, right? If she defends herself, then all of a sudden that is considered fighting each other. If you saw me punting a kid outside, are you going to be like, oh, her and the kid were fighting each other? No, you're going to talk about how I was attacking. Why is he attempting to skew this as some sort of, oh, well, you know, she was fighting him too. Not she was defending herself against him, or she was a victim of domestic violence that had the courage to try to stop her assault. No. Let's continue going forward. Let's continue.
One. Emotional abuse. I will tell you, the emotional abuse comes from women to men.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Before I did this video, I had to look up at the DSM-5, right? Because he was basically talking about how the emotional abuse is women going to men. Let's take a look and see what the data actually says, right? So the data, when we go to the DSM-5 and we start looking at what makes a person a narcissist, right? And if you want, you can pause that, zoom in, read that. As a matter of fact, I'll make it larger for you. When we start talking about the personality disorder, this is from the DSM-4 and DSM-5 criteria for personality disorders for narcissistic personality disorder. And if you read this, you just take your time and just read through this, right? Pause it, go through it slow and read that in case you haven't before. The DSM-4 and 5 is the official guide, right? Okay, so when we start talking about which gender is doing what exactly, let's look at the statistics of what it is that exists out here in the public, right? This is also from the DSM. You see, when I come out and I'm bringing you data, I show you where you can research the data as well. Ask him where he's researching this data that Black women are not really suffering from domestic violence. Where is his data coming from? This is grotesquely irresponsible. It is negligent. It is flagrant. It is foul. Let's look at this. Let's take a look and see. All right. So when it comes to narcissistic personality disorder, and we look at, so let's jump over to this first. Let's jump here and take a look at what is it that we are trying to see here? Okay. When it comes to narcissistic personality disorder, so we looked at this already. Let's look at this data right here. Let's look at this data. You see where the highlight is up here? All right, I want you to read this with me, okay? All right. All right. NPD, all right. All right, 7.7% greater in men, 4.8% in women. A high prevalence of NPD was found among Black men and women and Hispanic women, right? So when we start talking about narcissistic personality disorder, it skews in our community. And why? Go back to the Blackburn Center and read the data on why it exists and how racism and misogynoir. Do you see the misogynoir? You could read about misogynoir and those sorts of things on the Blackburn Center. Just Google. You saw the title of the thing, Black Women and Domestic Violence. Okay. Let's start looking at the data for how this shows up, right? Grandiose sense of self-importance, 4.8% in females, 4.1% in men. Preoccupied with fantasies, 1% women, 1.4% men. Believes he or she is special/unique, 1.9% women, 2.8% men. Requires excessive admiration. So these are of the people with narcissistic personality disorder, right? Reading the characteristics that they experience. So of those who have narcissistic personality disorder, this is the percentage of women, this is the percentage of men, or how it shows up, right? You see down here, let me show you the key. The keys are percentages are weighted values. P-values are adjusted for multiple testing using the Benjamin-Hochberg procedure. And P-values in bold are statistically significant, okay? So let's continue, right? Let's continue. If you all are with me, throw some claps up on the screen because I want to see if you're following along with me, because I know reading data can be very boring. But if you're still with me, throw some claps up so that I know that I'm just not droning on and you all are hearing what I'm saying, right? So here we go. Sense of entitlement, 4% for the women, 6.8% for the men. So we're talking about almost twice the sense of entitlement. Interpersonally exploitative, 2.1% for the women, 3.4% for the men. Lack of empathy. I want you all to see this. Lack of empathy. What is the number for women? What is the number for men? 4.6% for the women, 9%. Double, about double. Lack of empathy. We're talking about empathizing with a person's plight, being able to feel their. So when we say that Black men are the white men, are the white people of the Black community, this is what we're talking about. The inability to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes and feel what it is that they're going through, empathize with them, to even sympathize with them, right? Being envious. Women came in higher, 4%. And then 3.2% for men. And this is as it relates to NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Arrogant, haughty behaviors and attitudes. It was equal, 0.9 and 0.9 for men and women. The diagnosis, 4.8% women, 7.7% men. Listen, this is the data that exists out there. When people start speaking their stuff, what is he talking about? Where is he getting this information from that it's not really happening out there? let's continue and listen to his video a little bit more, and then break down the last parts of it. Oh, I can't find my cursor. All right, I just found it. Okay, let's get this. Let's continue forward.
Not men to women. And it's, I call it the color
So you heard
purpling
that,
of the Black
right?
community.
You heard that. So when he starts talking about emotional abuse, he's trying to set the stage for us to believe that it's really the poor men are the ones that are being, first of all, domestic violence doesn't really exist against Black women, but it's the emotional abuse that men are facing. When the data shows us that not only are men more likely, here, let's turn the volume on because I want to hear that last part again.
Known of one woman, and that was one of my mother's friends back in the 70s. One. And she and her husband, or she and her man, they would fight each other. One.
Listen, here comes the emotional part.
Emotional abuse. I will tell you, the emotional abuse comes from women to men.
Really?
Not men to women.
How many of you believe that? And why is he setting this up this way? Who do you think his targeted audience is? He is giving carte blanche. He is giving carte blanche for men to go out there and be like, look, this doesn't really exist. Shelters overflow. They can't find enough housing. I remember when I interviewed I interviewed a shelter and domestic violence hotline in Nevada. They couldn't even take any more women and children because they were overflowed with women. It was so prevalent that women were being beat. And we're talking about the vast majority of women who are being beat don't even report it. But the ones who do report it, the number of houses and spacing in one state alone was overflowed. It was overflowed, right? Let's hear a little bit more.
And it's, I call it the color purple.
Okay, so it's just going on and on and on, over and over and over again, where he is just talking and he's not providing any context. I imagine that his targeted audience are the people who salivate, the people who feel, the crazy part about this. So there's this book called Why Does He Do That by Lundy Barcroft. As a matter of fact, I want you all to get that. Why does he do that, Barcroft? Let me see. I want you all to be able to get the book. Let me get the right page up. This is not showing the page. Give me 1 second. I just have to connect because every time I go live, I have to always reconnect to the pages, right? This is the book right here. It's called Why Does He Do That? It is by Lundy Bancroft. That's his name, Lundy Bancroft. This book is so profound because you will learn why children who are in the home of mothers who are being assaulted, why they side with the father and also start assaulting the mother themselves. Because they too are convinced. They are convinced by the father's manipulation and they blame the mother for her own abuse. They're convinced by him, right? And so I can imagine that a person who is saying stuff like Kevin Samuels, that he has become identified with the abuser, so that he feels justified in cursing a woman out, calling her all types of B's and all of these names and putting up slapping sounds. You know what? We're going to play a clip from Kevin Samuels where he is encouraging domestic violence. We're going to come back after this commercial break and we're going to talk with the studio audience. Are you tired of missing Tanya TKO's live videos? Arriving late when the video is well underway or about to end? Are you fatigued of only seeing a live video randomly while perusing YouTube and Facebook? Or worse, randomly unsubscribed? Well, now you can get a text notification whenever I go live. No longer are we dependent on the algorithm of these fickle platforms For just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $4.99 a month international, you get a personalized text message 15 minutes before each live show. Now, you can show up early with the Text Squad, meet other people from all over the world, and get invited to secret broadcasts off-platform. Most importantly, support your favorite independent creator. Go to tinytko.com and click on text. Join the TKO Text Squad today. For just $1.99 a month US and Canada, or $22 a year if you pay in advance, $4.99 a month international, $50 a year if you pay in advance, you'll never again be tardy to the party. I'll see you on the next broadcast. tinytko.com/text. Are you tired of missing?
Audio. Audio.
How long has my audio not been on?
I've been hearing you.
About 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. So the people on Zoom have been able to hear me, but you all haven't been able to hear me. That's fine. We can repeat what it is that we said. What is it that we said? What is it that we said? Let me try to repeat it again. All right. So we were basically saying that, so you heard the part about Lundy Barcroft. It's when we came back from the commercial that we then went over to Zoom, and I just had everybody waving. So we were just basically talking about getting ready to come forward and speak and just hear from the live studio audience. So I'm getting ready to bring their screen back up, and so we have to get their screen back connected. I need to I'm not sure how, but it went, and I don't know why it went, but it did, and here it is. We have it back now. All right. So, Opa, come forward. Listen. You know what? I used to be really hard on myself with the technical issues, but that's fine. I'm forgiving myself, because I'm not going to be over here all stressed out. I'm my harshest critic. So, Tanya, I forgive you for the technical support issues. Do you? Thank you. You're the best. All right. Wonderful. We good. All right. Come forward, Opa.
Girl, we got to love on ourselves. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? We got to take it with some grace and ease. The energy, yes, is heavy over here. I can speak for myself because the topic is very heavy. Um, so that's probably where the energy shift is, because it is a
Okay.
very heavy topic,
Mm-hmm.
because we all know or personal of this really affecting the lives, right? So that's, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where the energy is. And it's also not wanting to do a disservice to those that are in it, where we're making it too light. So it's like, how do you balance that, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
you're paying respect for the topic. So Kevin Samuels, again, to me, he is already an abuser. So in your last statement where he's identifying himself with the abuser. To me, he already has exemplified that, and he's catering to that audience that is already susceptible to his narrative about women, and not to take them seriously, and that they're always the problem, right? They're the issue. And it's the same thing with when you are being abused, the abuser, the narcissist you talk about, always try to make it your fault. What did you do? Why did the person do that? What did I? So all of a sudden it's like, what did I do? What did I say? It was my fault. I should have left him alone. Oh, I should not have pushed. It's always pointing the finger at you. So when I hear him speak like that, I see him as the perfect
Hold on.
abuser.
I'm sorry. Give me just 1 second. We all know the rules of the broadcast, right? We all know. Do not advertise on my channel. Do not advertise other people's channels on my channel. Do not attack each other in the comments. And do not call women misogynistic slurs on my channel. Listen, I had to take the comments off of the screen. Let's all hop to it, okay? I'm so sorry. Please go ahead. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, love. So, um, everything that I'm hearing from him, as you said, he's catering to an audience that's already salivating and eating up this women are the problem.
Yes.
You are the issue. So that is his audience. To answer your question, who is his audience? That's already his audience.
Yes.
So for those women that is already believing that they are the problem and everything about them is wrong, this topic right here fits right into them. And the harm is that there are women who are being abused that are going to believe that it's them. They're the problem, they're the issue. So he, to me, whatever his relationship status is, he is an abuser already. And it's just oozing out. It's just, you're just seeing it. For those that can identify it, he is already an abuser. And when you see people fighting each other, defending yourself and standing up for yourself is different in saying, I see them beating up in each other. Like, where's your optics? Is it that they're beating up on each other, or somebody's defending themselves?
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. I want us all to look, if you want to come on camera and speak, I need us all to sit up and be available to speak and converse. Thank you so much for adding your point of view. All right, Angelica, come forward.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening. Hi, Tanya. What I wanted to say is, how dare he say that this is fake and it's not real and it's not happening? Unfortunately, besides me and other people that I know of, we have experienced our whole entire life where you have verbal, physical, or mental abuse, let's so call it. So how dare he say that we're the ones that's the problem?
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. But you have to think about what his motivation for saying it is. What do you think his motivation is?
Personally, I think that he doesn't want to let's see, what was I going to say? He personally, I don't think he wants to address that this situation is real and it's still going on, it's still happening to a lot of women out there.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so next up we have Maurice. Thank you so much, Angelica, for giving your point of view.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to say, when you brought up the DV websites and stuff like that if you press the escape button twice while you're texting and chatting with them online, it will bring you to the Google website.
Right.
So if your abuser happens to walk in while you're trying to talk to them, it'll bring you to the Google website so they won't see what you were looking at. And also, too, they have a linguist online. If you call and you don't speak English, they will find you a linguist in your language to be able to interpret it, what they have to, what you have to say.
Okay.
But
well, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for adding your point of view. All right, Antoinette, up next. You need to unmute yourself, Antoinette.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Yeah, I wanted to call in because not call in, I forgot I'm live. But I wanted to say because you brought up
I
the
can't
color
see you. You're in the darkness. Oh, you got the color purple behind you.
Yeah, no, I have a headache. That's why I had this on my
Okay, well, if
not
you
like
could, you know what? I can see you better when it's not as close up on you. So move it back a little bit from you. So, okay,
right
that's
here.
good right there. Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
That's good.
I'll do that. Okay. So when you mentioned the color purple, that really just made me think of some bad memories. Unfortunately, I grew up in a household full of domestic violence and then some. But my mother would not let us watch The Color Purple.
Really?
And when I got, yeah, and I'll tell you why. When I got older, I ended up watching The Color Purple. And I realized why she did not want us to watch The Color Purple. Sorry to say, my mother is a mammy, and I have not spoke to her since I was 19. I'm almost 40. So
Oh, wow. You
she
haven't spoken to your
definitely
mother
is.
in 20 years?
Exactly. Both of my parents are horrible people. I don't want to get into all of that, but
Oh, okay.
you'll know what after what I'm about to say. Okay, so
Okay.
the reason she did not want us to watch The Color Purple is because they had a scene in there that involved either rape or molestation. So,
Words we cannot say on my broadcast.
sorry.
It's all
Sorry.
right. Go forward.
Okay. Okay. So when I watched the movie, I'm like, oh, that's why she didn't have us watch this because my in my household, I did grow up with my father, but I grew up with, which I found out later was my half sister. But we grew up like we were full sisters.
Right.
So my father actually molested my sister, and he
These are
had been
words we
doing it.
cannot say. If you can say
Oh God,
intimate assault.
intimate assault. Sorry, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not used to this. Okay,
No, it's
intimate
okay. They
assault.
shouldn't. You know what? They shouldn't
Okay,
even be policing our words. You can't have real conversations. And so this is why I want to give a shout out to everybody who is on the text notification squad, who goes and supports the channel. Thank you to all of the people who send the cash apps through because you support the channel when we have real conversations and there's words that have the video demonetized. So thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, so yeah. So this happened in a household. My dad did it to my sister, and she's been doing it since she was a child. So I'm the one that actually no people in my family knew about it, which really upset me. But I'm the one at age, I think I was like 12, that called the police on my father. And my mother actually made my sister lie and say when they went to court and say that incident didn't happen. My sister has had psychological issues ever since then. And I have other issues, things that she's done to me, but nothing that bad because I'm not the only one, because I'm not the one that happened to. And then of course my father was very abusive. She would blame it on him drinking, but he would drink quite often and become belligerent and always scared when he's coming home out with friends. That's the nonsense I had to grow up in. He like broke her nose, hit her in the face with a pan. My mom had to hide the knives, the sharp knives, the really sharp knives in the house because she was scared of my father. He had a record. She actually moved the whole family to this racist state because I'm from Chicago. I'm actually living back in Chicago now, but she moved our family to this racist state to like try to hide him from the police because I think other people might
Wait,
have called the
hide
police on him.
him.
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Go ahead.
yeah, hide him from the police. So she decided to move to a whole different state, continued to lie to my sister, talking about that's her father. Come to find out, my sister got older, like that can't be my father. And because they look nothing alike. So she actually ended up finding her father. Took a DNA test, did her own research and whatnot. It was a mess, but yeah, my family has some serious psychological issues. I could not.
What are your thoughts about Kevin Samuels saying that it just doesn't exist because he hasn't seen it just once in 40 years?
I think he has seen it, and then he just disregarded it. I don't know how you can't see it. Like I know I grew up with it and everybody didn't grow up with it, but I know so many friends. Well, they've told me. I actually haven't seen it. I'll take that back. I've only seen it in my household, but I've had friends tell me stories. And of course, I believe them. I'm like, who really gonna make that up? But I've had friends tell me stories. And it's a lot of my friends that tell me stories that they've been in domestic violence situations. So I even been in a domestic violence situation. I thought I would never end up with somebody like that. That relationship lasted 1 month. I moved in with that man for 1 month and left. So that wasn't gonna fly with me. But I don't really believe Kevin Samuels. I think he hates women, so I don't pay attention to that person.
What makes you think he hates women?
Well, he's always talking badly, negatively about women, like they don't do this. What's a woman gonna do to help the community? And he never says anything about me, not that I know of, because I don't
You
watch
watch
the
his
food.
channel? Oh,
No, I don't watch the food. I see clips that other
okay.
people talk about.
And you clip
So,
on
because
these
people,
clips with him in it.
no, like you talk about Kevin Samuels. I never
Okay.
clicked on Kevin Samuels to watch
Okay.
him, but I'm saying it'll be clips where people talk against Kevin Samuels.
Okay, got
And
you,
then
got
I end
you.
up watching it. No, I'm not giving that fool no money because you explained
Okay.
it. Like, even if
Thank
you
you. Thank you.
comment on it, like, I don't do that. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what? We appreciate you telling your story. I know that that could not have been easy. So thank you. And you know what? We'll talk in backstage about, what you're doing to heal from all of
Okay.
that. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you. Thank you to everybody in the studio audience who told their story. We're gonna jump back over to them in a little while. What we're going to do now is we are going to what we're going to do is we're going to play a clip from Kevin where he actually advocates for domestic violence. And I want you all to hear, because one of the things that I learned in Lundy Barcroft's book, or Bancroft's book, is that men who are violent are not going to admit out loud that they're violent and that they're abusive. They're not going to be like, oh, I am abusive. No, they're going to come up with all different types of reasons for why it is that they do what it is that they do. What is that? Hey! All right. So we have some apples who have come in. Since we're running short on time, we are going to read the ones that are 5 and up. So Maurice is the one who sent the first one in at $25. Thank you, Maurice. And it says, if you press escape 2 times, it brings you to the Google screen. So you're talking about the domestic violence websites. Absolutely. And you did tell us that from backstage. So we appreciate that. And there are buttons. When I was going around on the website, there were buttons that let you know how to get out of the site cleanly, and other buttons that let you know how to delete it from your browsing history, because some of these people are, they are terrorized. All right, Natasha sends $10 and says, just want to say thanks for all that you do. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Thank you. And Shelly sends $10 and says, Shelly Owens, 1010 for all the knockouts. Ow! Thank you so much, Shelly. Thank you. Thank you. And then we have Latricia, who sends $5 and says, there's generational intimate assault for Black female children. Oh my Lord. Listen, I feel you on that. And he's talking about The Color Purpling of America. The movie wouldn't have even needed to exist if there wasn't this prevalence of effery. Listen, I just saw somebody had their phone number in there. I did announce in the rules of the show that these apples are read live on air. You put your phone number out there, you see the thing is on air, child. My goodness. All right, thank goodness I was only reading above a certain amount, because otherwise I would have clicked on that. Oh, my gracious. So let's get into this next video. You're not going to believe what it is that you hear. Well, maybe you will believe it, because at this point we could believe anything. All right, so
on this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk,
domestic discipline in a nutshell is me and Courtney are married, and Courtney and I are vibing, but Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes, and we sit down and say,
I'm sorry. It just troubles me how he's always in the lurches. It's like, sir, Why are you in the darkness? God, it's like he doesn't want people to really truly, like when the body language guy was reading him, and we're gonna do that video tomorrow because it's a little late today. The body language guy picked up on how he shrouds himself and has cloaked his emotions. So this person right here is Courtney, the person in the upper right hand corner, and this person right here is Kitten Heels right here. And this person right here just looks I don't know, just looks so enthralled with happiness. I don't know. You see the smirk on his face? This person looks like he's heard better. This young lady over here, I don't know what she's thinking, but her right there, she's looking like she's listening intently. So let's see what he has to say. Wait, the man call himself Chicago Rilla? This man right here is calling himself Chicago Rilla. That let me know all I need to hear right there. Let's continue going forward. Gorilla.
Say, when you get on one.
Let's go back a little bit
that
here.
She can get on one sometimes.
So let's hear the whole context.
And Courtney and I are vibing, but Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split.
I just don't know what this person up here is kikiing about. Why does he think that this is so funny? He's talking about a safe word. She's like, why did you bring me into your scenario? She's like, get to the point, man. He's tuned out. He's checking inside his eye sockets. This is a lot. Let's continue.
Acknowledge you heard me say banana split and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on the ass.
All right, so this is the moment that the punchline is stated. He's smiling. She looks intrigued. She's like, did I just hear what I just heard? He's laughing, talking about hitting someone on the ASS. His arms across. He's creating a barrier between him and this effery. And I'm stunned. Do you all hear what it is that I'm hearing? Let's continue.
Thank you.
Okay, so that is, let's hear the whole thing again, because we're going to break this down piece by piece.
On this episode of Lapeef Let's Talk.
Domestic discipline, in a nutshell, is...
So they're going to call it discipline and not violence. Domestic discipline, how do you discipline an adult with quote unquote corporal punishment, and then the involvement of some sort of safe word as if this is some sort of... And in Bancroft's book, why does he do that? He talks about the difference between S&M and when people are consenting for erotic reasons to participate in agreed upon actions, right? Participating in agreed upon actions versus you doing something to a person that they do not want. Touching them in a way that they do not want. So he's talking about some safe words. That's the part that's a little confusing. Like, how did safe words get into this? So let's continue.
Me and Courtney are married. And Courtney and I are vibing. But Courtney knows that she can get on one sometimes. And we sit down and say, when you get on one, and after we go through the process, and I use the safe word, banana split, and you still stay on one after I say banana split. You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on the ass.
All right. I have a few questions. So he's attempting to combine S&M. And listen, I'm very familiar with this community. I'm familiar with the community. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. when you say a safe word, it's not to enter into reality. I'm sorry, it's not to escape from reality. If you're having a disagreement with your woman, that is reality. He's using vague words so that he can be able to manipulate. She stay on one. What does stay on one mean? What we're taking in the inference in the context of this conversation is that they're having a dispute. Beforehand, they have come to terms that whenever you're having a dispute and I say, listen, we're going to need to get out of this dispute. So I say a quote unquote safe word. That's not how safe words work. Let me explain to you how safe words work, right? For those of you who don't know. A safe word is, so basically when you're involved in the S&M lifestyle, if you don't know what that means, you're going to have to Google it because there are certain words that I cannot say in this broadcast. So when you're in the S&M lifestyle, they're going to be role play that you're going to engage in. And during this role play, you may beg, you may scream, you may say stop, you may say a lot of different things. But if it's all in the context of the role play, you know, like, oh no, please, officer, don't hurt me, or whatever, however you want to do it, or oh, that hurts, or whatever. Those are words that can be used in the context of the role play, right? So that when something is happening to you that you do not want to happen, you say the safe word. And when you say the safe word, that's when the role play stops. Immediately, role play stops, done. And that's when you know, because words like stop, please, because what ended up happening is early in the community, when the S&M community started growing, a person would say stop, and the person would not know whether they really wanted them to stop or go forward. So the person would stop, and then they'd be like, why did you stop? I was almost there. I was enjoying this, right? So they had to come up with something that was outside of the ordinary word. So the safe word is going to be a word that you typically use in normal everyday conversation. So a random type of word like Akuna Matata or whatever word you come up with. So you have to be able to remember your word in the heat of the moment. So it has to be something that's random that you don't use every day, but something that you're going to remember. And that's when the role play stops. However, what he's talking about is entering into a situation in real life. This is not role playing, where you have a disagreement with your adult woman. And I think this is part of the reason when we looked at the domestic violence stats against Black women, I think that this is also part of the reason they claim that they want women young so that the women are unsullied sexually. But I think it's a lot greater than that. I think it's that they have not really formed and cemented their personalities, that they have not entered into their power, that they have not become the women that they are going to be. So they get them when they're very young and they don't know how to advocate for themselves, where they're very pliable and susceptible to your manipulation and abuse. And they don't know how to get out of these situations, especially with a much older man, right? So they want to get these young girls, pluck them off the tree before they're even ripe. And part of the reason I'm seeing is that they have this entire fantasy built out where they're going to be able to control a person. So let's rewind that part again so that we can hear it, right?
You heard me say banana split. I acknowledge you heard me say banana split, and you stay on one. Well, then it's time for the domestic discipline. And it is
Let's zoom in on Kitten, because we've already seen the other people like him smirking, and that's disturbing. But let's pull Kitten up large. This is why I'm glad I got this system. Thank you to the people who have contributed to my channel so that I could get this powerful system to be able to zoom in like this when we need to. So thank you. You all are the MVPs, the people who send the cash apps and are part of the platinum and silver and the text notification squad and contribute monthly. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's continue.
is exactly what it sounds like. Lay across the knee and on our ass. It's actual spanking.
So my question to you all is, how does she get onto the knee? So basically you've said this quote unquote safe word, which is supposed to be the escape from play, but you want it to be an escape from reality. and now enter into play. You want to do it backwards, right? But this person is not acknowledging that they are ready to stop. So you say that they are quote unquote on one. They're not ready to stop having this interaction that they're having, right? So they're not ready. This is a grown woman you're talking about. Well, hopefully, because, you know, from what it is that I'm hearing in the sphere, some of these men are trying to pluck them off the tree way before they're ripe. I'm hearing not even barely pubescent. That this is where the talks are skewing. That they're talking about 13-year-old girls now. This is what I've heard, right? So a grown woman is in an argument with you and you start saying banana split and she's still having this argument. Your response to that is to somehow get her over your lap, to say this word, this random word that she's not acknowledging as a grown woman, where we're not engaging in play. She's not spanking you. She's not whipping you. You're having an argument or some sort of conversation where she is quote unquote on one. How then does she get on your lap? I want to know, in your imagination, how do you imagine that she gets over on his lap? So these men are larger and stronger. And so how does that happen? Does he pursue her, grab her, push her down onto his leg and start hitting her? Is that how it happens? Because if she's not stopping the argument, how is she just going to then comply and be like, okay, let me bend over for you? And remember, he made that statement about how men would use these quote unquote pages, these young boys, right? For, he's talking, let me see what he's saying right now.
Same environment, same dating apps, because you're competing for the same men.
So he's still talking about this competition.
Saying,
God, like Black women, we're so lost. We're lost when we start listening to people like this with no qualifications, no backup for the stuff that they're saying. Because there's this channel that showed actual footage and videos of who wealthy men actually choose. And they're not choosing these bombshell baddies that these men are trying to claim that they're choosing. What real men actually choose, like you know, there's this content creator by the name of Cynthia G who has this this series called Who They Really Choose, right? And if you look at who wealthy men really choose, so her series is for Black men, who Black men are really choosing when they're dating out with these women that they're claiming are so much better and more submissive and all this other stuff. And she talks about their Krispy Kreme shape and their spoiled mayonnaise and all this other stuff, right? There was this other content creator who did a video on wealthy men and images of who these wealthy men actually choose. They choose women who have children. They choose women who are different body sizes. They choose women who are different ages. And the stuff that he's saying, ask him to prove. Where is the data to back up? The statistics already show that Black men are most likely to die alone. He himself did not care for the child that he produced. Listen, I have seen his daughter. I'm actually going to reach out to her. I've seen his daughter. He's not caring for his daughter. He hasn't cared for her since she was 10 years old, right? He doesn't have a healthy relationship with his daughter. He's twice divorced, right? So it's like he's giving all of this quote unquote advice. 2 years ago, he was spraying perfumes at the mall, trying to get people to take him seriously as an image consultant. It wasn't until he started lambasting Black women that he actually began to take off. Listen, Dolce is saying he has no data. Why are we not asking him? Oh, I don't drink like this. Come on. I mean, who is taking this seriously? Why is it that we're not asking for qualifications? Oh God, this is Black women. We are lost. And the thing is that it's a vicious cycle where we are taking instruction from men who have left scattered, broken homes. Listen, name one. Oh my goodness. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. Let's continue going forward. This is just too much. This is just too much. He's zesty. He's something. He's something. I'm gonna come back over to the studio audience. I want to hear from some people that we have not heard from. Go ahead and throw your hands up. I want to hear from some of you. Put your hands up in the studio audience. I want to hear some of the stuff that you have to say and add to the conversation, because we've been on for an hour. As a matter of fact, I feel like opening up the phone lines. We've been on for an hour, 50 minutes. I can open up the phone lines for 10 minutes and just take some phone calls. 10 minutes. I take some phone calls for 10 minutes. The telephone number is 323-488-3149. And I want to see let's see some of your comments. Let me see some of your comments over here. Shout out to other Black female content creators who are attempting to right the wrongs of the community. Thank you all for standing up. 323-488-3149. Is there somebody in here? Are we about to have a block party? Who's acting up? Who's acting up? Let me know, because we haven't had a block party yet today. So the phone lines are 323-488-3149. I want to hear from some of you. It's startling. This whole thing is startling. And one of the young ladies behind the scenes sent me some links to look at in terms of domestic violence, but we're already in the broadcast and I haven't had to look at the links. So it's like I'm on air. I don't have a chance to review them. So I'm open. Oh, I didn't open up the phone lines. I thought I did. 323-488-3149. I want to hear from someone who has something to add to this conversation. Okay. He's Mr. at the end of Color Purple. The one that she was about to shave and cut his neck. That Mr. Or the Mr. in his prime. All right. Let's see if we get this. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name? Okay. Let me, I don't know if, I need to make sure that I feel like I just need to make sure that the volume and everything is coming in the right area. I hope it is, because I had to update the. Oh, Pink, I don't have the ability to really review it while I'm live on air, because I would need to okay, you know what? Let me see if I can jump over to do that. We might be having problems with the phone line because I just saw, let's see if this person can hear me. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
Hi, Tanya. My name is Kelly. I know you only have 10 minutes, so I'm going to keep it short.
Hi,
I had a
Kelly.
question.
Hold on. I just need to read the rules of the rules of telephone calls, right? Whenever you call in, please turn down the volume of whatever it is that you were watching me on behind the scenes. Talk to me through the phone. Be ready to talk and jump right into the conversation. When you hear me pick up, you are live. Write down your thoughts to be able to discuss. And the calls are limited to 5 minutes, so have your thoughts together. Say the most important thing first. So go ahead, my dear.
I had an answer to your one big question about Kevin throughout the show, which was really how he got this outdated view in the first place. And in my opinion, given his age, I think it might possibly be political due to the age he would have been during the Clinton administration and how they really dramatized the Violence Against Women Act movement for votes rather than keeping it solutions oriented. And in doing that, they really they effectively cemented the view that violence against women is strictly this it has to be these crazy acts of violence, which minimize the idea of intimate partner terrorism, which is also the act of silencing someone. So things like the safe word that Kevin mentioned. And I think that his repetition of using this inappropriate vocabulary to kind of mislead people as to what domestic violence really is just a repetition of that same cycle that we saw in the late 80s, early 90s.
I feel like I got kind of lost there. Give me one good sentence to really sum up exactly the point that you want to make.
His views on domestic violence are just simply outdated. I don't think he has a modern view on what domestic violence is. I don't think he understands that things like coercive control, which the safe word example he uses falls under coercive control. I don't think he fundamentally understands that is a part of the framework that domestic violence operates in.
Interesting. Coercive control. So this whole safe word, how do you feel that the safe word relates to domestic violence? Because to him, he's saying that this is just domestic discipline.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's just another form or act of oppression. When we talk about domestic violence, when we talk about any of the icky isms, we're really just talking about how oppression operates as a system. And that's just the systematic response to whatever he perceives threatening from a woman, really.
Interesting. All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the call. Have a good day.
Okay. All right. Phone lines are open, and then we're going to jump over to the studio audience. So if you have something that you need to say, put your hand up. I am looking inside of my email for the thing that a person said that they sent me about somebody famous, but I'm not seeing it. I don't see it. If you're going to send me a message, the link is in the description. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica. What is your comment today?
My comment is, I feel like I heard you the other day or today when you were talking to the young lady about, giving numbers and us as women, especially Black women, letting someone tell us that we're a number, or even a guy letting someone call them a number. We're not numbers, we are human beings. And I feel like Mr. Samuels, he doesn't know, but he's mentally messing with the women that he speaks to. He's messing with their mind, and he also are making men more feminine than masculine, because he's making them think these things that women, he's saying you're supposed to do and you have to do. And like you said, domestic violence victims, they're already in a bad situation, and they might be feeling like, oh, I was wrong, and they're not wrong.
Got you. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for giving your point of view. All right. I love that these calls are coming in and are back to back and poignant. So phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. Oh my goodness, what is that I hear? All right. So bear with me for just one moment. We're about to read the cash apples. We just had a call come through. I just put them on hold. All right. So Angelica sends $5 and says, "We shall not be silenced by bad press." When you say bad press, what are you referring to? Who is trying to silence us with bad press? Yvonne sends $10 and says, "This is so sad. DV definitely exists." Absolutely. I don't know how he came to the conclusion that it doesn't, because he claims he didn't see it, but now is tired of hearing about it. Kelly B sends $5 and says, "I'm trying to help you, LOL." Kelly, what do you mean? You're trying to help me? Oh my gosh. Kelly, what was your... Kelly, your... This... The phone number in the Cash Apps is not the way, because people can see your number when we go live. Molly sends $5 and says, "Love the show. I warn my daughters about this stuff." Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's take this call real quick. All right. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, this is Sunny.
Hi, Sunny.
Yes.
All right. So listen, Kelly, call in. Call in. Kelly says she's a domestic violence researcher. Call in. The phone number is on the screen. It's right here. 323-488-3149. We want to hear from you. Call in. All right. So what is your name? You said it's Sunny.
Yes. I was just
Uh,
thinking that it's kind of interesting where he was saying that he only saw one situation where his mom's friend or whatever was fighting her husband or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't watch. So I don't know if he said it before or after, but he never said how it got started. So maybe he was trying to domestically discipline her. He was trying to assault her, and she fought back, and that's taken as a fair fight. So
Oh, okay.
maybe
So
he
that's
has
what
to.
he tried to
He's
do.
not
He
actually
tried to put
acknowledging.
her over his lap.
I'm sorry.
He tried to put her over his lap. That's what happened.
Maybe it was because he didn't say how it got started. He said they're fighting each other. Well, you don't start a fight with each other. Somebody starts it. Somebody else responds to it. He never said. At least the part I saw, he didn't say how it got started. Maybe he thought he was going to domestically discipline her, and she was like, "No, you're not." And they started a fight. She defended herself, and he demeaned her. He brought her defense down to a fair fight.
Yeah.
So it's very
It's
interesting you
never a
explain it
fair
that way, but
fight
I actually
between a
think what
man and a
happened from
woman.
it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your point of view. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So, Kelly, we've not seen you call in yet. So, the calls are coming in one after the other. So, I'm not really able to do the outbound phone calls. I will try. Now that we have a little bit of a lag, I will try to reach out. Let's see if we can get it done before call comes in. Let's see. Oh, my goodness. A call just came in. All right. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name? Hello? Oh, we lost the call. All right. So I'm going to try now. I'm going to try. Uh-oh. I dialed the number wrong. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to get it. I think I'm going to get it. Okay.
Hello?
Hello, Kelly?
Yes?
Hi, this is Tanya TK. Wait a minute. Is this the young lady we just spoke to?
Yeah, I kind of got off the broadcast since then though. I haven't been watching. So I'm not up to date. You'll have to catch me up to speed.
You said that you wanted to speak, that you work in domestic violence and you have all of this information.
Yeah, I was the one who called in first, and I spoke to you about the Violence Against Women Act and how it's dramatized and yada yada yada, and how just a lot of people don't understand what domestic violence is now, Kevin Samuels included.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So I feel like we are in two different time spans because I got the message saying call me back. I want to help. But you've already called in and I'm like, call in, Kelly. Call
Oh,
in.
I'm
All right.
sorry.
It's
I'm so
quite
sorry.
it's
I sent you the Cash Apps while you were reading the Cash Apps earlier.
okay. All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate you offering your information about domestic
Yeah,
violence. I appreciate that. Thank you.
absolutely. You're welcome. If you ever have any issues trying to find the research, because I know you mentioned that earlier, you can always just shoot me a dollar Cash App for my email, and we can coordinate that way.
Yeah, I definitely need to get updated data on how often a black woman is killed. It says every 19 hours, and some people are quoting it's every 6 hours, but I need to find the actual data and the study that it comes from.
Okay. I believe I have that answer in a book in my office right now. I can go look that up and shoot you an email.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you. All right. So phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. We're going to take one or two more phone calls. Then we're going to sum up the broadcast and we're going to go from there, because I feel like we've said everything that we need to say about this particular issue, and I want to hear your point of view. So studio audience, you all still here with me? Ladies? Okay, hold on. Let me check. Let me check on the studio audience. Give me 1 second. Let me get the thing together. I gotta get you all off of mute real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to. There's so many buttons everywhere. Okay, here I found the right button. Okay, there we go. So I've sent everybody the buttons to unmute, and so we're going to. All right. So ladies, how is everybody doing out there today? How are you doing with this topic? What information did you want to throw in and add?
I wanted to say that I actually, when I was in a domestic DV situation, I remember watching like Lifetime movies, and I knew they were real, but some of the movies I watched were fictional. And I remember this one scene where the girl ended up getting killed because the police or whoever did not call her to let her know
that the man was
that
out.
Her abuser. That happened to me. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God,
wow.
I could be killed. And this man just walks through the door. And what happened was, I had a friend, we had mutual friends. A friend called me and said, he just called me and said he was out. You need to get the hell out of there.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
It was crazy. But yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. India?
Yeah, I just want to say that this is scary. You know, I feel like not have a platform to speak about this. Really, he has no like his evidence is incorrect.
Yeah.
And like I said, for him to have access to so many men that actually listen to him, and we already have a problem. Can you imagine him actually having a segment about the subject and validating DV? Like this is
exactly. A bunch of people who are abuse sympathizers coming to his broadcast for him to say that abuse doesn't really exist. This is exactly what we do not need more of. Thank you so much for contributing. Thank you. All right, next up, I don't see anybody else with their hands up. So are we good over here? Opa, your hand is up. Did you mean to put it down? You got to unmute yourself, dear.
There we go. Yes,
okay.
Yes. Wanted to add the difference between discipline and abuse. When he talked about domestic discipline, the roles in which he's speaking about is where, you know, the same thing where you can skew between child abuse and parental discipline. There's two different boundaries, right? So even his language, when you talk about domestic discipline, nobody's your child, right? You don't discipline your mate. Like and this is the issue. Even right now, there's a group that I'm a part of in regards to, you know, the white female, black woman, that definition, the etymology of all that. And my whole concern, even in that group, and even the changing of the language from who we really are as females, is that there is this message that goes out that is given permission for the males who are immature and the males who have been given this blanket card that they have some kind of authority over our body. Like we just came here for them, and we don't have any other purpose but whatever purpose they've told us we have. And there's this sense of entitlement and possession. And that is the concern. There's no discipline with your mate. Like you don't discipline you're like,
Yeah,
by the
that
time you
is
discipline a woman,
strange.
like, yeah, how
Yeah,
you
like
discipline
what
a grown
authority does a partner have to quote unquote discipline you? That's
discipline
bizarre,
you.
right?
Like,
That's
you're not
bizarre.
my father. Hi.
And then also on top to that note, I don't even believe in corporal punishment for children. You know what I mean? I don't believe in, I believe that that needs to be the last resort, but I believe in conversing with children. But if your mate is trying to have a conversation with you and you keep saying banana split, and as a result you feel that you need to take them and throw them over your lap and start hitting them. If a person does, it doesn't matter whether you're calling it a spanking on their butt or whatever. If a person does not want you touching them in a certain way, what right do you have to touch them in that way? And so many Black people don't really understand this as it even relates to their children, because they're so used to touching their children in ways that their children do not want to be touched, that they don't consent to be touched in. And then so many of them were children who's had their bodies touched in ways that they didn't consent to. So it just becomes a vicious cycle,
Yeah, he's out of
cycle.
his lane. He's out of his lane. He's been out of his lane for a long time. Just like one of your members, I am not a follower of Kevin. I heard of him through again that group I am in with the white females, black women.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about Kevin Samuels, so I went and just Googled him quickly. And in 15 minutes, sis, I was like, why are we listening to him? There's so much things that's coming off of his energy. It's just very disturbing. So
Yeah.
hear him, for you to talk about this, it doesn't surprise me, but we have to be very, very careful with the women, the females that are listening to him and really
Mm-hmm.
believing that what he says is gospel, and it
Yeah.
isn't. It isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for adding your point of view. All right, Tanya, come forward.
Yeah, listening to this idiot, I shouldn't say that, but he's like an abuse sympathizer. And all these guys that are listening to him, especially the young ones, they're going to have this crazy sense of
your hair is so cute, by the way.
Of abuse. Like, yeah, I got to cut today.
I like the short hair look.
They're going
Oh, look at you, girl. You're trying to rival me. Go ahead.
No, I needed to cut because it was just growing out and it was just flopping. But I think, like, especially the young guys that are listening to him, I think that they're going to be in these functional relationships where they can.
Your signal is really breaking up.
Reality of what abuse is, and especially with him talking that crazy.
Your signal is breaking up. I'm so sorry.
It's like that's something like if you're in a safe word, that's fine. But I'm sorry, what happened?
Yeah, your signal's breaking up, and there's this tremendous delay between when I speak and when you hear me. I don't. You just don't have a strong signal there. Like even what you're saying is not coming out clearly.
Okay. It's probably where I'm at. It's kind of like the signal is bad.
Yeah, it's even making your video smaller to be able to lessen the bandwidth. But while it's small, go ahead and finish saying what you were saying.
I was saying that, especially with the young guys that are listening to him, that's weird.
I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to come back to you. Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to come back to you, Maurice. Maurice.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
What I wanted to say is that I want women to continue to speak up, because we are so afraid of speaking up to say when something is wrong because of people like him stating that this doesn't exist. And I've been to calls where I've seen my partners, my coworkers, do not believe the women. So more women are afraid to speak up, to say,
when you say don't believe them, what do you mean?
It's kind of like they're like, oh, she's just making a mountain out of a molehill. You know, they just had
Really?
a, because whatever the husband or the spouse or whoever says, oh, we just had an argument and she just took things out of context, and it's not that bad. And I've been to also where calls where women are covering the, we get there, the covering their heads and with a blanket because they don't want us to see the bruises and the marks that's on their bodies, because they don't want to press charges. They don't want to say anything because they don't want him to lose his job. They don't want him to look bad. They don't want him, to suffer any consequences because, oh, he's right. I was taking things out of proportion. He didn't really mean what he says, because the next day he's going to come home with roses and an apology. I've
Yeah,
seen
this
both.
is where
I've seen it
self-love
both hands.
comes in.
Exactly. I mean, I've been to calls where like he grabbed her by the neck, 4 fingers are still imprinted in her neck, and she doesn't want to press any charges. And it's all because, well, I don't want him to lose his job. He's a good guy. It's just that when he drinks or when he's upset, he kind of gets like that. But when he sobers up, he's fine. And it's like, I'm looking at you, I'm like, it's not fine. I could still see his fingerprints imprinted on your neck. It's not fine. But with people like him stating that he's never seen things like that, or he doesn't know anybody that's been through stuff like that, women tend to not speak up because they're like, nobody's gonna believe me. I mean, I've even went to the point to gotten another female, a translator,
Another
for her to
woman?
know that for her to know that I believed what she was saying when my partners didn't. And when I got her in translator and I told her she was safe, nothing's gonna happen to me, then she opened up. But a lot of women are afraid to speak up. And I know why. I understand why. It's not okay, but I understand why, because they're made to believe that if I speak up, nothing is going to happen anyway.
Gotcha.
So why speak up?
And police have a really high rate when it comes to domestic violence. I just want to add that.
Oh, police officers, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Certain professions just attract abusers. Yes.
Exactly, because they're used to being in power. They want to control everything. And if they have a mate that speaks, oh no, that's not okay, you can't do this to me. Who are you to tell me that's not okay? I'm the police. I'm this, I'm that. I can do anything I want. Who are you to tell me I can't?
Yeah.
So it's like, I want women to know that they can speak up and they should speak up, because if they don't, nothing's really gonna happen. It
But
goes
you know
both
what? It all
ways.
starts with self-love, because when you love yourself, and this is why I am unapologetic with the person that I cussed down to the ground, because those of us who are sensitive to abuse, we saw the abuse already starting on the line. And him does get he backside cuss down. And I have no regrets. No regrets. No regrets.
Oh, I get those calls all the time. Oh, ma'am, I don't know why she called you. We're just having a little argument. It just kind of went a little overboard. But yet the neighbor is the one that called. It wasn't your wife. But when we get there, they gave us that impression that everything is hokey-dory. They're just having a little, argument. She's just taking things out of proportion. I don't know what she told you guys, but we're okay over here, ma'am. You guys don't need to intervene. And I'm looking at the wife in the background, like scared to death, eyes about to pop out of her socket if we don't help her. But he's telling us everything is okay.
Yes, of course he is. What else? What is he going to say? These people, they're masters at how to control people. You know how I say I'm really good at what it is that I do? I am amazing at social media, promotion, innovation. There's some people who are amazing at manipulation and the psychology of understanding people's triggers and how to get people on their side, etc. So absolutely. Thank you all so much from the studio audience for giving everybody, please put yourselves on mute. because we're going to go take some more phone calls. So the phone lines are open 323-488-3149. And so if you would like to call in and give your point of view, go ahead. I saw somebody said they wanted to call in, but they didn't want to be on camera. This is the phone call. The studio audience are the ones who are on camera. So they are a special select group of people. I hear some apples coming through. So I'm waiting for the phone call. I see that somebody is talking about somebody needs to go to the block party. Who is it? Because we didn't get anybody to the block party in this broadcast. You know what I mean? We had a lot of, what's that now? Hey, all right. So let's get these apples red. All right. So Renita sends $10 and says, class action lawsuit should be filed ASAP. Oh, what are we talking about in terms of the class action lawsuits? Which company are we suing? Are we suing YouTube for having this toxic content on here? Shar sends $10 and says, lost myself to a mind controller, but you helped awaken me. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for, we're going to read the $1 cash apps when we get to the end of the show, because I know that people sent stuff in and we are going to be transitioning over, especially when we have a lot. So you are on the air live. We hear you clearing your throat. We hear you. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Tanya. I didn't know I was on. My name is Renita, and I just want to say that I really believe that black women, ought to start filing class action lawsuits against people like him and himself, because what he is spitting out of his mouth is dangerous for us. It really is.
Okay. You know what? That's actually a really good idea. That's a good idea, actually, but we would have to show cause. We would have to show damages and we would have to show cause. So somebody would have to participate in an action. And then also, is it class action or criminal? Because if a person participates in an action, they have to attribute it to him. Or because what we can do is the platform that allows him to spew these messages. That could be also a thing right there, because you see how parents got in YouTube's ass and made them start putting up COPA everywhere, right? Because they were not protecting children on this site. And so now everything is COPA, 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 chameleon, or COPA, COPA, COPA. All right. So yes, I believe you. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to do something because this is dangerous.
Yes, he is really. I hear little children, 16, 15, repeating things that he's saying. And I'm like, this has got to stop. And I just want to say before I get off, I just don't understand why black men in particular think they have the right to discipline anybody when they are the most undisciplined people that I know.
That's a good question.
I just don't get it. Who gave them the authority to feel like it's their right to put their hands on women? And I saw somebody in your comment, well, I'm not saying that a man should, it's okay for a man to hit a woman, but some women ain't shit either. And I'm like, well, what in the world does that have to do with a man beating a woman to a pulp? Yeah. My ex-husband, the last time he put his hands on me, and I'm not, bragging, and I'm not trying to tell women to do that in particular thing, but I stabbed him 5 times. And that was the last time he raised his hands to a woman, because I stabbed him straight through his hand. He is disabled to this day. So, I mean, before it even gets to that point, ladies, y'all have to go. You gotta go. It's been about 23 years now since I left. But I just wanted to say that, and I just enjoy your show.
What is it that made you endure it for so many years?
No, I'm saying that's when I left him.
I know, but you
Is
endured
that
it
was the
before
last
you
time.
left. What was it that made you endure it after the very first time?
I guess it was because before he ever put his hands on me, we were together for 5 years.
Okay.
And then after I got pregnant with our first child, that's when I noticed he would hit me every now and then, but it wasn't like a constant thing. And then it was like I just woke up one day and I was getting my head beat in. So, you know, and then I started to fight him back, but that was tiring. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to take care of 5 kids. I'm trying to maintain, you know, all the things, mortgage, light bills, water bills, food, clothes, and then I had to deal with this.
Wait, I'm sorry. You all were doing 50-50 and he was acting up too?
Acting like a fool. Like a fool. And we been together ever since we were like 17. I was 17. He was 19. I'm 51 now. Yes, ma'am. So we got a divorce in 2007, even though I left him, let's see, I left him in 90, I think it was like 98. Yeah.
Wow.
Horrible. Yeah. So I just would like.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving your point of view.
Thank you. And I love your show, Tanya.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
So we're going to, this has been a great broadcast. We're going to end it here because we've been on for 2 hours. And, you know, once the broadcasts go past a certain point, they become prohibitive for new people to watch. Even though the videos are really entertaining, the length can be intimidating to people who are not, you know, used to something this size. You know what I'm saying? So listen, on that note, I appreciate everybody who came out today. Give yourselves a round of applause. Go ahead, give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate each of you coming out. Thank you. Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you to special shout out to the text notification squad. Special shout out to the studio audience. Get ready to wave goodbye to everyone. We appreciate you all coming out. So thank you all. Thank you. Oh, Elle has graced us. Iffy, we can't see you. What's going on, Iffy? Elle, we see you down there, cutie. How are you? Everybody looks so gorgeous. Raynette, mama, how you be? How you be? Okay, welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all so much for coming out. We appreciate. Oh my Lord, Iffy's in the bed. Are you in England, Iffy? Cause it's too early on the East Coast for you to be in bed. It's 6:30 on the West Coast. So come on now. Listen, get this energy up, you all. Come on. Hey. Yeah, get it, L. Get it. Oh, come on. Opa. Hey. Allie, why you just sitting there? Come on, Allie. Get it. Vegeta, come on. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Oh no. India, you're not gonna get away with that one little. Okay, there we go. Come on. We ain't got. Hey. What you know about me? What you know about me? Oh, hey. Listen, I appreciate all of you coming out. You all are the best. Stay tuned afterwards. We're going to do a little debrief and just get to know each other a little bit better after the broadcast. If you want to join the text notification squad, the link is in the description below. Hey. Listen, don't listen to content creators that don't fill your soul. Listen to people who make you feel alive. Listen to people that feed your spirit in the way that you need your spirit to be filled. Hey, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you coming out and being a part of this broadcast, opening your hearts and sharing yourselves with me. Thank you for the Cash Apps to everybody who sent the Cash Apps. I'm going to read all of the smaller Cash Apps after I get off. You'll know when I read it because I'll send you an emoji back. If you don't want your Cash App read on air, and you still want to support, you can always send it after we're off broadcast, and I'll still read it. I send you an emoji back because that's how Cash App communicates with emojis. So I appreciate each and every one of you. What are your thoughts about this? I want you to let me know in the comments. What are your thoughts about what we discussed on this broadcast with the rates of domestic violence being so disproportionately high for Black women? Yet a person trying to minimize that. And in my humble and in my professional point of view, I personally feel that he's catering to a particular base. And that base salivates and enjoys the abuse of women, verbally, emotionally, and now he's finding a way to up the ante. As a matter of fact, I was asking someone to send me this slap sound, right? Okay. Actually, I just got it. Let's get this. Before we jump out of here, let me play you this one last thing. I was waiting for this video all broadcast. So basically, when he's talking to women that he doesn't agree with, he plays a slap sound. For them, I guess, as a way to condition you, as a hypnotherapist and a person who wrote a book of affirmations. Listen, this is the book of affirmations, Self-Love, right here. You see 2 copies of it back there. It's available on Amazon. This rewrites your subconscious programming, and it changes your whole psychology, your whole makeup, right? This is the book right here, the book of affirmations, Self-Love. The link to it on Amazon is below, right? As a hypnotherapist, I know that the conditioning starts before you even get into the office. So when he plays a slap sound at a woman that he disagrees with, the conditioning already begins. Like, people will test you like that. The woman who called in and she was like, oh, like, if you think about how domestic abuse starts, it ramps up, and people confuse a person for speaking mildly with being polite or being nice and all this other stuff. Like the person who called up and thought that he was going to assault me with his gaslighting, his emotional and attempted psychological manipulation, and I cussed him the F-U-C-K on out. And people were like, Tanya, I was so ashamed of you cussing like that. Listen, I don't run a channel on politeness. I don't run a channel on etiquette. I don't run a channel on how to be a debutante or how to be classy. I run a channel on self-love. And in self-loving, you've got to put yourself first in such a way that you can already, that you see abuse coming and you shut it down at the gate. When you start feeling, you need to trust yourself enough that when you start feeling something is not right on the inside, that you trust yourself enough to listen to it and say, even if I can't pinpoint it, because I saw a video today where a woman was like, I finally caught him cheating. No, you knew he was cheating from long ago. And you still continued in this direction. So you needed to actually really see it. The mere fact, listen, if you have done your psychological work and you've worked with a therapist and healed your insecurities and your childhood wounds and your inner child and all of that stuff, and you are a healthy, rational adult, and you in your intuition feels that your partner is cheating or you're not getting what it is that you need to feel safe in that relationship, you're not getting what you need. That's bottom line. What do? You don't need to catch them in the act. You need to see him mid-thrust for you to be like, oh, he's cheating. No, you knew you were not getting what you needed as a woman long before you caught him mid-thrust. You hear me? You weren't getting what it is that you needed. So why did you need to see all of that? So we're going to, so there's a video that she said, she said the slap sound, and shout out to Nyla. She has been doing cataloging and research to get all of this stuff down pat. And so she sent me this thing. Oh my goodness. So here. So this is, we're only going to watch the part. She says about 2 minutes in. So let's get this. What do we do to get this up on the screen? I'm just going to do this and then play this for you all. So here, let's see what we have.
There,
So she's talking, and as she's talking, he is demonstrating that he's not listening to her, that he doesn't give an F about what it is that she's saying, right? He's playing all of these loud sounds over her, right? Let's go back a little bit to see how this escalated. Let's see.
Oh, idiot woman! Idiot woman!
See, I be feeling like they should have never showed me Lou Ferrigno when I was a child, because I be feeling like I could burst through the shirt. I feel like I could just, like when I hear about abusive men behaving in this way, I just feel like ripping through my clothes and just becoming green and just handling business. So, whew, Lord have mercy. Let's play a little bit of, because I don't know how it got to this point. Let's see. So she's trying to talk and he's just playing all of this stuff over her. So it's like, how long did this begin?
The same thing.
I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, you're not making it. Okay, stop. I need your break.
Okay.
You're just talking. I try not to do things the same. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have kids at home?
I do.
Are you married?
I'm not.
All right. Are you seeing someone?
No.
So what are we talking about?
We were talking about a comment that I've heard you make a couple of times, as far as
you're not married. You're not.
Oh, you heard it, right? Let's go all the way back to the beginning. I'm sorry, because I don't know how it got to where it is that it got. But you heard him play the slap sound, right? Let's go forward. Let's go forward. I'm sorry, this is very disturbing.
Okay. I just say, and to just end that, with that being said, I try not to have that happen with me and my kids. You know what I mean? So
you try not to do what now with your kids?
The things that I've seen with my own family, I try not to do that. I try to do the opposite.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, if you're even friends with someone that isn't doing the same thing,
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, ma'am, you're not making it. Okay, stop. I need your break.
Okay.
You're just talking. I try not to do things the same. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have kids at home?
She already mentioned her children.
Are you married?
I'm not.
All right. Are you seeing someone?
No.
So what are we talking about?
We were talking about a comment that I've heard you make a couple of times, as far as
you're not married, you're not seeing anybody, so why should you have any discord with your kids if there's no relationship?
That doesn't mean that I'm never going to see anyone. That doesn't mean that I'm not.
You hear this? He's over and over and over playing this slapping, whipping sound. They know how to choose them. Ooh, they know how to choose them. You see, I'm salivating. Because I would chew him up. They know how to pick them. Because first of all, they bring you into the arena where they have control, where they're able to turn off your mic if they want to, where they're able to play slapping sounds, and you are on their platform in their world, so that he could play these sounds slapping at you, and you, foolish enough to bring yourself into a situation where you have already seen him abusing other women, and you come there. Black women, when are we going to stop this? Why is she there? Why is she on this platform? Why is she there? Because we are so desperate for the black male gaze. Well, is there pun intended? We're so desperate for the black male gaze that we will do anything. Gaze meaning G-A-Z-E. But if you want to think of it another way, you can too. Listen, how is your choice? Have it your way. That we want the accolades, we want the acknowledgement, we want them to finally, quote unquote, see us. But it's like a toxic dance where you're like, I ain't going nowhere. 'Cause you're the black man I wish I knew. There's no way I can ever go. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. And you, and you, and you, and you gonna love me. I mean, come on. To get it. I'm trying not to. I'm trying. Listen. It's calling me. I couldn't help myself. Here it is. Super Mammy. I mean, come the hell on. And I am telling you, I'm not going nowhere. 'Cause you're the black man I wish I knew. There's no one who could ever do. No, 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 no. No, 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 no way. I'm divesting without you. I'm not waking up tomorrow morning to see that there's no black man there. No, 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 no. No, 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 no way. I'm living without you. I'm not living without you. And yo, and yo, and yo, you're gonna love me. Oh! What the hell? Come on. Why are women still coming up there to get their dose of self-abuse? Come on. Put the cape down. Stop thinking that you're going to be able to force somebody to see the worth in you, see the worth in yourself. You know, I got a secret for you all. You know, there are people who listen and them no say who may be, right? They listen and they want to hear for Tanya's insecurities. What is Tanya insecure about? What does Tanya feel self-conscious about? And they listen and they hear and they say that they're going to come and manipulate me with their point of view. So they come and they repeat exactly the same things that I have said are my insecurities. But the difference is that my insecurities are my insecurities. You come up over here and I will attack you in the same way that fighting siblings gather up together to attack your ass, because it doesn't matter. Listen, let me tell you something. I feel the way that I feel about myself and my insecurities are personal to me. You don't come up here and try to repeat them back to me, mother effer. Your opinion means nothing over here. Don't let me verbally crash you down to the ground. Don't let me do it, because I will. And that's it. You see, it's like people will hear you. They'll listen to you talk about the things that you feel self-conscious about. So then they come and they repeat them back to you because they think that they're going to be able to penetrate through your esteem. You cannot do it over here. I'm waterproof. I am bulletproof. I am slick. Like I'm the Teflon Ton over here. You cannot do it. So they want to repeat, oh, that's why your broadcasts be messing up, because you know that I feel self-conscious and I beat myself up about my broadcast. But I will still, listen, I will rag you down to the ground to defend myself. Even the things that I feel self-conscious about, because it is not your place. Who are you? Who are you? So these women standing up here over and over and over again, coming up onto this show, you're gonna love me. Yeah. Listen, it's not your fault that your daddy left. He was a fucking bum. He was a fucking bum. Nobody who loves themselves leaves their child. Children are defenseless. They come into this world innocent. And if your father left you, it is not your fault. Stop looking to repair the relationship in these random ass nakers whose father left them too, so they don't have an idea of what true manhood looks like. Stop going up here, laying yourself down on the altar as a sacrifice, because what they will do, let me tell you, there's a difference between being a mate and a mat. You can lay down on the ground and let people step all over you, and they will still complain that you're not flat enough. You could fold and bend and contort yourself and flatten yourself as much as you can down onto the ground, and they will stomp all over you and still get upset with you for not being flat enough for their feet. Stop it! Let me calm myself down. Stop it. If you don't have self-love, stop looking in the sack of another man for your self-love. Believe me, dear, it's not in there. There was a man the other day who told me that I needed to apologize for him, for which I knew I was not wrong. I was unapologetic because I stand firm. Listen, I say what I mean and I mean what I say, right? And he told me he tried to posture. He tried to jockey for control. Now, you see, I don't have these divots inside of me. I don't have the holes that exist there in the foundation from where a father was not present. I listened to a TED Talk, right, not long ago. I listened to a TED Talk, and in that TED Talk, the speaker said, imagine your life without your father. What would that life feel like? My mother, she was soft and she was beautiful. You know, my mother is dead. She was soft, she was kind, she was beautiful, my mother was. She was forgiving, she was encompassing, she was embracing of others. My mother was such a beautiful, wonderful woman. When I thought about what my life would have been like if my father had not been there, my father is like the teeth, like the bone that exists in between meat, where you have that soft flesh, but that bone holds it all together. When I think about what my life would have been like, all of the hard lessons, the hard truth, the punching reality, all of that, the brisk beard, all of it, my life would have been like pudding. It wouldn't have had the structure that it had if my father had not been in my life. So when these men approach me and they think that they can look for the divots in the foundation, it is not there. This man told me that if I wanted to speak to him, that I needed to apologize to him about something that I was not sorry about. You know what I said to him? I said, you would have an easier time sucking Skittles out my ass than getting an apology out of me. I said, you'd have an easier time putting your mouth up on my asshole and sucking out Skittles than getting an apology out of me. Oh, he didn't like that because he's used to something a little bit different. He's used to jockeying and that the woman jump in a line. He's used to saying something, oh, if you want to talk to me, you need to apologize. I said, Naka, you would have an easier time putting your lips upon my asshole and sucking Skittles out of there than getting an apology out of me. That was the last day that we spoke. Oh, I did tell him taste the rainbow too, because he kept on talking. And I hollered out, taste the rainbow. He didn't like that. That's when things went downhill. That's when things went downhill there, when I screamed out, taste the rainbow. It didn't go too well after that. But what I'm saying is that they will test the waters, but there's no waters over here to test. There's only Skittles. There's only Skittles for you to come suck out of my rectum. That's it. That's all there is for you, right? The thing is that they're hoping that they can come upon you with what women are programmed with. Get along, nurture relationships, be agreeable, don't be disagreeable, be a good girl. No, good girl, yeah, bad girl this. Bad girl. Let me tell you something. I don't have the waters to test. What do I have? I have only the rainbow for you to come and taste. It's as simple as that. And he backed the F up. He did. And then I had to go through a stream of actions to show him who the F I am. That's what I had to do. I had to go through a stream of actions to show him who the F I am. There's people out there who will listen to you talk about your weaknesses. They will look at the slump in your back or the downturn of your lids, and they will be able to assess whether or not you are the one that they can try it with. They will assess. So when you come into this man's realm to come upon his show, he already has an idea that you're already pliable, that you are there either confused about the situation that you're stepping into, because you cannot win going into that den. You cannot. You can't win going in there because you have already submitted. You're in the submissive position by entering into a situation with a man that you know is abusive. You have already entered into an abusive situation and you have consented by your mere presence there for the abuse that you have seen him dole out to other people. Why is you there? It's as simple as that. Let's continue. Somebody said probably never ate one Skittle in his life. He would have come and ate some that day. Because that's all I had for him. Skittles and the rainbow. And he was going to taste either one. Let's continue. There was a video that we were looking at real quick. All right. So this is not the right screen. My bad. Let me get the screen up. All right. Here we go. Let's finish hearing the slaps that he was doling out at this woman as she was speaking.
That doesn't mean that I'm not dating, you know, so that's why.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. You idiot woman! Idiot woman! Excuse me, please. But I don't have another shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. You idiot woman! Idiot woman! I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck out of here. Shit, I'm out.
Will respect my shit. There, but
this is obnoxious. This is obnoxious.
Stealing my stuff.
This is obnoxious. You can't even hear. It's just pandemonium. It's like he's weak. He's weak.
I told you. What did I tell you?
And now he's playing crunching sounds.
And when did I tell you? A long time ago.
You know what? I am a strong independent. Idiot woman! Idiot woman!
Why not just get her off of the line?
I told you. What did I
get your fucking shine box.
tell you? Because I told you.
It's kind of like,
when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say?
Now he's playing the sounds of a person getting beat up.
I know. So do you think that
so this is, at this point, listening to this is self-abuse. Let's see how much more of this is there. It's like, come on. It's like, what the? Hold on. It looks like I see some...
as far as like the same personality. So I a better person.
So now he's taking my tumbleweed idea.
I'm not saying me.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please.
This guy is so unoriginal. He's so unoriginal.
Alright then.
So unoriginal.
But I don't really care.
This is what makes you feel good as a man. Wow. So you think this is funny? You pussy clad, rasshole, mother cunt. You think this is funny? And so we know he's stolen from Cynthia G. We know he's stolen from other YouTubers. And now my tumbleweed idea has shown up in his video. Oh my goodness, studio audience, I'm about to cut to you all in a second. Get ready. Get ready, studio audience. I'm coming over to you all. What the F? This man, oh my God. This man, yo, son is nuts. So what it is that he's doing, he is the thief upon all thief them. Listen, you know what? Oh my gosh. They say, what is it? Imitation is the greatest flattery that mediocrity can pay to genius. So now you all heard when I came up with that idea. I was like, you know what? This is what I want. I was like, I want a tumbleweed with dust and all this other stuff. I even created a whole entire dust tail. You all have seen it. You've seen it. And then it goes on from there. You all have seen it. It's like, come on. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Studio audience, I'm coming over to you all right now. I need some consoling. Here we go. Listen. Studio audience, listen. Oh my gosh. All right. Vanessa, come forward, baby. Talk your talk. Come forward, Vanessa. Oh, you need to unmute. Sorry.
I actually...
No. Which way is your camera supposed to be, my dear? You know that.
Oh.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you for reminding me.
I'm sorry for checking you like that. I'm just already in an aggravated mood. I didn't mean to speak to you like that, but
Tanya,
okay.
I don't take any offense to anything because I know other people crap can roll over, so it's fine.
I need to...
But I heard something today that I want to share with you.
Go ahead.
Him stealing your tumbleweed. I heard something on TikTok today. Have you ever noticed that you got 38 likes, but 300 people were watching? So everybody don't like you, but they're watching, and that's what matters.
You are so funny. Look at her face. Look at her face. Listen, my knockouts are crazy. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bajetta, we haven't heard from you. Come forward. Oh, my goodness. Let me get you to unmute. I'm sorry. I got to bring my energy back to where I need it to be. Come, Bajetta.
Hello, Tanya. Hello to your audience. I missed your lives. I've been missing your lives because I've been busy. But
it's okay, dear.
I just want to say there are a lot of men out here like Kevin Samuels. They do not like women who are strong, who speak their mind, who knows more than them. You know, they don't like women who hold their own, you know, and who's not ashamed to stand in who they are, stand in their truth, and they're not afraid to speak it. So I'm here to let you know that I love your channel. Keep doing what you're doing, and you have all our support. And I spread the word to my friends to listen to your channel, but of course, a lot of them, they support Kevin Samuels. Those type of men, their man means they pick me, you know. So for me, it's time is needed, it's overdue, and it's so frustrating because, you know, women in our generation, we dealt with a lot of things because that's what we were taught, But now there are younger women who are listening to your channels and other women channels. They're not gonna, fall for that manipulation or the psychological manipulation that have been played on us for so long. And it's very heart wrenching for me to see that young women are waking up to the nonsense, and to hear a lot of women here talk about their DV situations, and I share a few of my experiences, and it made me stronger in the process. When it comes to men, I don't tap dance, I don't put up nothing, I don't put up with anything from them, I don't put up with disrespect, I don't put up with anything because at the end of the day, self-preservation is important, and loving myself is more important first and foremost.
Thank you.
So I
Thank you
just
so
want to tell
much.
you,
Thank
keep
you.
doing what you're doing.
We appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So, Opa, we have you back up again. Come forward, my dear.
Hey, baby girl. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, girl. Sis, as you said, he just complimented you. And men like Kevin Samuels, they're a dime a dozen. They're like, he gonna fall. You know Humpty Dumpty. All the king's horses and all the king's men are not gonna be able to put people like Kevin Samuels back together again. All of these men that use their platforms to bring us down instead of lifting us up, in the disguise that they're apparently helping the community and helping family. There's one in particular right now that I'm kind of just sensing myself because of the work that I do. And they're creepers. Eventually, sis, everyone is going to leave. And platforms like yours, is the first time me being here. As I said, I got a notification. Platforms like yours, Tanya, is where they're going to be coming to. Okay. So there's a Derek person before, there's another person before, there's, I'm in Toronto, Canada, so I'm hearing about these individuals south of the border and all that. Sis, you got this. You are
I
going
hear
to be
you.
that
Listen,
person.
you know
You
what?
are going to be that person that they're going to come to, and they're going to already see who you are. They're going to need that pick me upper. They're getting hammered and they're over there thinking that this is to make them better and building them up. The show is going to
Interesting.
get over.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for your point of view. Thank you. Keyshawn, come forward. Me personally, I'm not thinking about people falling or what's that. Or even coming over. I don't know. Come over, Keyshawn. Speak your speak. Talk your talk, girl. You're not unmuted, baby. All
There
right.
you go.
Okay. Go ahead.
I appreciate everyone and their narrative, and that kind of piggybacks on the notes that I wrote because I know you said to make sure that we're ready. Oprah kind of it really piggybacked on what I was going to start with. If it wasn't for your type of platform, right, we wouldn't have that type of opportunity for healing. We had a Kelly, now I know her name was because you called her back because I didn't know her name. I just knew in my notes that she was very much correct in when she was talking about um,
Yeah.
the
The
safe word,
safe word.
and
Yeah.
mhm, and how it was minimizing the domestic violence. And then when you have your kitten heels, that because of market of broken men, right? They feed into that. He feeds in that because he's broken. Again, I know you laughed at me the last time I called in with it, but I do pray for those types of fellas because they still have influence.
Yeah.
And because they still have influence, and I'm strength based. I'm a multi-systemic therapist. That's what we do. We focus on the strengths. Yeah, he's a whatever butthead. I'll say it like that. And he's not using it correctly because he's hurt and he's spilling out that tar, that
Yeah.
venom. That
Yeah.
not only for those black men, our black men that are hurt, but also for our black women that have been hurt by our black men.
Yeah.
right?
Thank you so
And
much. We appreciate that. Thank you.
so thank you.
Thank you. All right, Allie, come forward, sis.
Hi. Oh boy,
Hi.
that's a lot to talk about, but I'm not gonna say too much. I think what you were trying to say, but I'm not trying to correct anybody, but flattery is a sign of mockery is a sign of flattery. This is what my college friend used to tell me. When somebody is copying you, usually it's because they, like you said, they're not original. And this man, there's nothing original about him. Just very problematic. Let's see. If the lady who called in the last time, if she was serious about doing, I don't know how you would go about it, but a class action lawsuit against him, like I said, I think in the previous broadcast, there is one person you could talk to who created, because you mentioned about COPA, and I know I've talked about it before, but again, Senator Edward Markey of Massachusetts, he's the one who created it. I was trying to get my daughter to pull up the information, but I guess she says her phone is way too cloudy. So, but if you go to, like I said before, markey.senate.gov, it will tell
you can reach out to me so that I can get the exact link and all of that. Just come to TanyaTKO.com, click on contact. Yeah.
Okay, I will send it to your website.
And then also one thing I'm gonna say is, baby, we move in silence. We don't announce what we're gonna do.
I'm so
we
sorry.
move in silence. Because there have been some things that I have done. Some people know because I talked about it after, but when it's getting done, we move in silence. You know how we do.
You know what?
So
Lip seal. I'll just give you the information. If not tonight, then tomorrow, and then you can just do it with it from there.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mama. We love you. Thank you so much.
All right, you too.
Thank you. All right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So this has been quite the broadcast, huh? We were supposed to get off of here an hour ago, and I don't know how we ended up here. How did we get here? All right. So listen, all right, everybody, listen. I appreciate each and every one of you coming out and participating in the conversation, right? Thank you all so much. You all are dope. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. What is that? Oh! All right. So there's some apples that have come in. And so Audrey sends $5 and says, powerful content today. Taste the rainbow. Oh my Lord. You know what? I'm gonna have to get that on my soundboard. I can already tell. I'm gonna have to get that on the soundboard. Faith sends $5 and says, kitten stole high value from a European. Oh, you see what I'm saying? Just unoriginal. But you all know who did what first. It's like, come on. I was so stunned. Ugh. And it just so happened to be in the video that the person sent me with the slapping. It's like, all right. He stole HVM from an Asian per Taz. Okay, so European or Asian European. All right. And Keisha sends $25. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you. She says, thank you for all that you do. I appreciate you. Thank you, my dear. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love that you all send and the support for the channel that helps us be able to do the broadcast that we do. Molly sends $5 and says, for because. Thank you, my dear. And we love you too, just because. Thank you. Let me make sure that I refresh because after this, we're going to be going offline. And, oh, looks like I sent that to the here. So this is Molly right here. Oh, I'm trying to get the, all right, heart. And then Raynette sent $5 and without a message. So thank you, Raynette. Thank you, Molly. Thank you to all of the people who sent. I'm going to be replying to the $1 Cash Apps after we get off air, and I'll send you the emoji back. I appreciate each of you coming out. Today was a difficult broadcast. We talked about some difficult things, but we made it through. We made it through. We did. We made it through. Hey. All right. So everybody, listen. Hold on. Let me get the volume turned down lower on this. Hey. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Studio audience. I appreciate each one of you coming over. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for participating in today's broadcast. The highs, the lows, the cuss out, and all of that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who gave your point of view. We really appreciate you. You all are the MVPs of the broadcast. Thank you. You make the broadcast what it is. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see who we got. All right. Go ahead. We see you over there, Bajetta. Go ahead. Oh, Oprah. Opa's getting it. Allie's getting it. Joy's in the bed and all we see is her head. Just get it now. Just get it. Hey, hey. Thank you all. You all are so dope. I appreciate you all. You all help me have the energy to keep going forward. Look at Elle. Oh, head banging in the bed now. Go ahead. Go. Oh, we got the bonnet on. Go, Iffy. Iffy's up now with the bonnet on. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, thank you all so much. Thank you. I appreciate each of you coming out. You all are so dope. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So listen, go ahead, everybody. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you know how to find me again. Make sure that you keep your eyes, ears, and heart open. If you are engaged in an interaction that does not feel right to you, it doesn't matter whether or not it doesn't feel right to you by other people's standard. If it doesn't feel right to you, then it's not the right interaction for you. All too often, we start thinking that there's so many things wrong with us that we have to fit ourselves into these situations that don't fit. Just like how many of us try to fit ourselves and squeeze ourselves in buying pants that are the wrong size and dresses that we have to know. Get the dress that fits you today. And if you shrink down in size, then get another dress that fits you that day. But find relationships and clothes and jobs and all of this. This is what self-love is all about. Some people don't get it when they come to the channel. But if you listen to me talk long enough, it's like I don't have to beat you in the head and be like, self-love is check, check. No. I am the walking manifestation of self-love here. And if you watch long enough, you're going to start learning some lessons and some pointers too. All right? Absolutely. So we appreciate you coming out. Thank you all so very, very much. Go ahead and throw up those hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Hey, throw up those hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if somebody tries to taste the rainbow, you say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So make sure that you know how to find me again. Make sure that you share this video with a loved one. Make sure that you let people know who are working these long hours and they need some distraction, a break, some lessons, some love while they're working or cleaning or driving long distance or whatever the case may be. Just let them know that you know a place. I know a place. Oh, ain't nobody crying. Hey, just let them know that you know a place where everybody's thriving, okay? And tell them to come over. Look at the rainbows up, Lord of mercy. What have I started? What have I started? What have I started? Ah, the Teflon tongue, Lord of mercy. Listen, I love you all more than you can ever imagine. And instead of a person having sounds of love and all this other stuff on their board, they're going to put down sounds of abuse and people are just coming for it. Listen, keep sharing my videos because it doesn't make any sense. All right. On that note, I think that's pretty much what's the self-love lessons that we got in this video. Go out there and love one another. Most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is being firm and cemented in who it is that you are. Loving yourself and having and understanding your self-worth. and minimizing, you setting up boundaries with yourself so that you're not talking to yourself or reckless in your mind. So that when other people come and try to talk reckless to you on the outside, you already know that you're not going for that. You know what I mean? Cut down that own. You want to talk about an abusive relationship. Many of us are in abusive relationships with ourselves. Look at all these rainbows, Lord of mercy. I can't listen. I'm not looking at you all. Put up your profane. I'm not looking at this. I'm not looking. So listen, on that note, I appreciate all of you so very much. Thank you to the studio audience. Thank you to Tanya and Budafly, who are the admins that we have who hold things down. We're pretty liberal here with people expressing their points of view. So I appreciate all of you. And thank you. I want some comments about how you feel about the videos, the production, the topic that we spoke about. And I'd love to hear your point of view about that. So listen, on that note, I will see you all in the next video. Let me make sure that I get my end screen up. And here, there's the links over there to my different social media platforms. Oh, thank you to all of you who are on my mailing list, who came out and represented on my IG page, liking and getting me back on top of the algorithm. This is why I say it's so important for you to click on people that you want to see and people that you want to promote. So thank you for doing what it is that you all have done. Thank you. Thank you so much. Make sure that you click around here for other videos. Come to my website, TanyaTKO.com. Get my book on Amazon and love yourself through my content. Tanya TKO, and I am out. Peace.